All right, welcome everybody to Roman of the Empire's channel. I'm Shieldwall of Dragons, and I will be kind of driving the train here tonight. Roman couldn't be with us; he might pop in a little later. But welcome. This is our free range stream where we go over topics for the week that we've pulled off the internet. So it's going to be fun. And I am Shieldwall of Dragons. Usually Roman goes through with a big intro on it, and I'm his partner on this channel. I'm his wingman, and I once stopped him from carpet bombing the Southlands of Lithuania because no one would notice.
I will take your word on that one.
Yep. Next up, we got Jacob Ironside. He is the meme master of the interwebs, using his power for good instead of evil, but that's debatable if you've seen some of the things he's been putting out lately. But yeah, he's an awesome dude. Great channel for reviewing movies and stuff. Next up, we got the Joker voice. And
I'm the scourge of Gotham, the nemesis of the Dark Knight. I am Joker voice.
Exactly.
That's right, folks. It's a wonderful time here. If I was any more amazing, I'd be illegal. So good to have plenty of women on this channel tonight for mass scissoring.
Awesome. Absolutely. Next up, we've got Squeeka Mouse. Squeeka M. If you build a better mousetrap, you get a better mouse. And the best mouse is Squeeka Mouse.
And the best mousetrap is Beard.
Yeah, the best mousetrap is the top loader washing machine.
Hi, y'all. Thanks for having me on. I will add what I can. I confess I didn't read all of the homework. So, yay! I'm mostly here just for the goat and the chickens.
Okay. We'll go through it line by line. It'll be fine. Yes, goats and chickens. Next up, we have Matt. He is the man that knows all the things about all the things. Unemployed professional asshole Matt with a giant spider behind him.
Semi-professional.
Oh, that's what I said, isn't it? Anyway, welcome, Matt.
Hey, all. Greetings from the hellhole known as New Jersey.
I just love that even Shieldwall can't get Matt's name right. It's not just a Roman thing.
It happens on the Wednesday night as well. So it's definitely not a Roman thing.
Next up, let's welcome the Eclectic Goat. First time on the show. So
yeah, I was gonna say I'd like to be able to say I've never had a Joker on top of me before, but that wouldn't be true.
She is not the mundane goat nor the dogmatic goat. She is the eclectic goat.
I see you did get that one right, and so many people pronounce that wrong. I've lost track of the number of times I've been the electric goat.
Electric goat. Yeah.
That could be interesting.
There apparently is actually an electric goat.
Isn't it a band, a 60s funk band?
But that costs extra for the electric goat.
Right, next up, we got Beard of Liberty. His beard has been nominated in both the Best Actor and Best Special Effects category.
God damn.
Yeah, but what kind of movies?
Do you want to know?
She knows. Squeeka knows.
The Electric Goat is a band. I looked it up, but they're a rock band. Yep.
And we might be potentially waiting on some other people to show up. We'll see if they're here or not later on in the show. It's fine. They just pop in. It'll be good. So let's say hi to the chat. We've got
Chico.
What's going on there?
Yes. Yes.
I have no idea.
There's a goat and a mouse right here.
So
and I'm not talking
Mighty Mouse.
And I'm not talking Eclectic and Squeeka. I'm talking there's a goat and a mouse like right next to us.
So we have double goat, double mouse.
Yes.
All right.
That was like quick on the AI there, Jacob.
Quick on.
Oh, yeah, he's probably had that in his pocket for like a year.
He's just been waiting for me to show up.
Exactly. Let's say hello to the chat. We got Invader Zim. Good evening, all. Well, good evening, Invader Zim. We got Blair to Blair. he's been on a lot of different channels lately. He's kind of spreading his wizard wings.
Glad you wear.
Squeeka, and so far that's all we have in the chat that's willing to type in it. So, but
he's spreading his deblair.
I invite everybody watching to like and subscribe. Roman could definitely use it. And so before we get started, Jacob had some slides that he would like us to show. It's up here. So here we got different people in the wait, is Mando Bucky?
Yes. Looks like, yeah.
Is there a way to make this?
I mean, I really expected the Red Skull was going to be a goat, so.
Hello, Jana.
Oh, here's Jana.
I'm wearing the bowler hat. Yes. Yes.
And
we got Ego down there as well.
Yep.
Jana.
Yeah, that is Ego. Who's that in the very bottom down there? Below Ego.
We got Blair as that's
Joker.
Me. That's me.
As the British dude.
Okay.
We got Blair.
Blair is the general.
Blair turned out pretty good there.
Yeah, he did.
Is that Sammy as the French guy?
I think so.
No, that's me.
Yeah.
As the
that's
guy.
you. Okay.
Oh.
And who's
Sammy?
Captain
Sammy.
Who's Agent
Carter?
Carter there, Jacob.
It's Sammy.
Sammy's
who's Red Skull?
Yeah.
Who's Red Skull?
I'll say it's me.
He makes a handsome woman, I tell you.
No.
That actually looks better than the original.
Yeah, it does. It looks better. Have you guys seen the memes where like he's got the laser eyes coming out and they're all going in different directions? Does he look?
You look good, Joker.
Well, I always look good. But,
Needed the glasses on though.
At least I don't finally have. I'm one of these where I don't have hair. I look more normal.
Yeah.
It gave me a really big nose. I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, that is you with the beard and everything.
I really hate that guy guarding her hair.
You look like Sheila LaBeouf there.
Yeah, me too.
Wow!
Wow! Just like,
holy
how much is this going to cost?
No. That's his face whenever he screws himself up during a stream and he starts cursing at himself.
I would say that's his face just from living in California.
Mother dick!
Wow.
Who's this?
I can't tell.
It's Sammy.
Go back
one. Sammy's going to get in trouble.
That is just that. Wow, that is bravo, sir. Bravo.
It is weird how his face fits on everything.
Just about, yes.
That's just it. He has a very memeable face. All right, so let's see here. Who's this? This is the chick that's the like Mexican drug cartel guy that wants to become a woman or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I figured I didn't need to replace his face.
Wait, so that's not altered in any way?
No.
Oh, okay. And that's it for the slide.
At least I don't feel bad about not recognizing somebody.
All right, awesome.
That was impressive. Jacob, you no longer use your powers. Not for good. You are evil, sir, and I love it.
Okay, well, speaking of Captain America, we have this article here we're going to talk about. Okay. Thought maybe some of my nudes were going to pop up. That would have been bad.
My goodness.
You would have had to see all my scales out in the open.
But it's expected that this is gonna suck. Okay.
Well, okay, right, because just with the amount of reshoots that they've had to do, this film with the production budget alone, you're looking at an $800 million box office to break even, if that.
The thing I found funny was that there was a thing earlier about they were looking at pre-ticket sales, and they were saying, oh, the pre-ticket sales for this are higher than all these movies that people really liked. But they're movies that came out like 10 or 15 years ago.
Right.
So when you figure the inflation, they're actually much worse.
Right.
And most of them are movies that, whether or not people ended up liking them, they, like Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody expected to be a big deal.
Well, then if that's the case, then we're looking at with figuring marketing in. This needs to make about $1.5 billion to break even, to make zero.
This ain't gonna make even 1/10. So this movie might be lucky to make $400 million.
Is it me, or is it every modern movie needs to make $1.5 billion to break even?
The budgets are
well. Okay, so if you go by there is a website called The Numbers that is actually really good. It's what I use. It's what Valiant uses as kind of your base. All of your major studio films, your budgets are all starting at about $200 million. So right there, that's $400 million at the box office just to break even. But then again, keep in mind that's just the stated budget. That's not what they actually spent, because what the stated budget is an absolute lie. These things all overspent.
Okay.
And that's partially to get tax rebates and all sorts of shit like that. And
which is why a lot of the films are filmed now in London, because you get like a 25% film tax credit. The only problem with that is that you have to disclose everything. So when you find out, when what was it, when WDW Pro and Valiant they did the searching, they found out how much Lucasfilm actually spent on the sequels, and for the Force Awakens, the production alone was over $600 million.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. And welcome to Cannoli Sasquatch.
And there's another thing is, this is one of the last, I think, 2 films before Marvel did their purge of the wokeness in the Marvel Studios. So this should suck. What's the other film that's going to suck?
All of the other problems this film has, it's massive reshoots, the controversies that some of the actors have gotten into, some of the things they've said, all of that aside, Marvel has been on such a downturn. This obviously, there was no way that even if everything went perfect for this movie, I was going to expect it to do better than anything that had come before it.
Right. This is gonna have to perform like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. If this film is to even do anything, it's gonna start slow, and it's going to have to be such a good film that word of mouth drives people back to the theater. I don't see it happening.
Well, I don't either, because
they don't allow anything in the theater long enough.
Yeah,
there is that too.
Plus, I mean, none of the characters in this movie have the endearing history with the fans that the Guardians characters did.
Correct.
They built up their rapport with us with good movies and good characters and good stories.
Well, I would argue that Falcon was a fairly character until
he was.
They destroyed him in that D+ show.
Oh god.
Well, not even. Well, here's some comic book lore for you guys. So there is actually a black Captain America. His name is Isaiah Bradley.
Right.
And after Steve Rogers was lost in the iceberg or whatever, they didn't have the secret radiation that made him into Captain America. So, but they did have the chemistry.
Right.
So they took a bunch of black soldiers basically and experimented on them. And Isaiah, like a Tuskegee air, the syphilis study and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And Isaiah Bradley became Captain America too, and his son or grandson is
Patriot.
The Patriot, yeah. And so that's a character that would have been interesting to have a movie about, right? Maybe they should have done this as a timepiece, save money, low budget, go back to World War II, pick up right when Chris Evans goes into the ice, have the next experiment, blah blah blah, and do a World War II timepiece, low budget, about Isaiah Bradley. And instead, they're doing this garbage, woke, God knows what nonsense. That
they did reference him. He was in the D Plus show,
Right.
where he was like, "Yeah, they threw me in jail for a bunch of time and stuff, and I can't
And-
get a, you know."
And now Sam did take up the shield and was Captain America for a brief time, and that was in the all different run of Marvel Comics. The comics sold so poorly that they resurrected Steve Rogers from the dead. Now Sam was always a great character by himself when he was the red and white costume, and I mean just the naming of these films. First it started off with New World Order, and now it's Captain America: Brave New World. I'm like, that's not an improvement on the name.
Right. So
the problem is that these people, these leftists who write these movies, they think the books like Brave New World are actually good and instruction manuals. Yeah. And so they say when they say Brave New World, this is a great book. We want the world to be like that. And so and they don't understand. We see Brave New World, New World Order, whatever they want to call these books.
1984,
Animal House, Animal Farm,
right.
Anything by Ayn Rand, and all that sort of stuff. And like, they don't understand that we don't want the world to be horrible.
Right.
And I'm honestly kind of burnt out on it. I mean, I used to be really way more angry about this stuff, and now I'm just kind of like,
don't care anymore.
It's not that I don't care.
It's care anymore.
Because I still love comic books and all that. You guys who watch my live show, I was opening comic books and talking about them on the show. But I moved on from Marvel, and it's not to say that Marvel can't change. Like, let's say they sold them off, or Disney de-wokified or whatever. Maybe it could get me back interested again. But I have zero interest in Marvel comic stuff anymore, and which is sad because that was my childhood was Superman and Marvel comics in terms of like the Superman comics and Marvel comics were the things I loved as a kid. And
this is what becomes death to an IP or a franchise or whatever is apathy.
So let me ask everybody this: who here is going to go see this when it comes out? Anybody?
Maybe.
Bueller?
No.
Bueller?
Matinee, $5. Sure.
Totes me like 3 or 4 times.
I'm not even. I am not even going to waste time going to the high seas to acquire it. I'll put it that way.
So part of the other thing that hurt this movie is this little panel right here. Anthony Mackie clarifies Captain America's statement. So he goes and basically
opens his mouth.
Yep, and it's like Captain America doesn't really have Captain America in it to me, and it's like about America, and I'm like, say what? And he's like, it's supposed to be about a person that's responsible and respectful and honorable, and I'm like, yes, that's the American part in his name,
and that's the problem is now because Mackie's talking about his character. Now his character does this, and this, saying, "I am this." America's not.
Right, which is let's be real. Some, not every country is perfect and it's got its problems, but the ideals, the idea of it that everyone should try to live up to and that we try to live up to, and history has shown in some areas we fail, in some areas we excel at. But that doesn't mean that you should just be like, well, don't worry about the American part. Now, I think part of why he said it was because it was an interview in Italy, and maybe in his mind, in Rome, he was trying to make it so that it would like connect with everybody. But that's because he's mired in the whole DEI thing. So let me ask you this: if you think
people look toward America when things are bad, they look toward America. What's
each
America
country
doing?
has its own.
Where we go, the rest of the world goes. That's basically.
But also, if you think about like the United Kingdom, right? If I say England, what comes to your mind? Roaming grape gangs and other stuff is not it. You know what I mean? Yeah, T, but stiff upper lip.
I could think a lot of things for England, but all the good stuff is from a long time ago.
Right, but what I'm saying is that's the image I have. If you tell me Canada, I think of trees
Maple
and
syrup.
mooses and maple, but nice people
Nice
that
people.
are
It's very
smart
nice
and
people.
industrious and really cool and everything. And
I mean, I do agree with what you were saying. I think he was trying to kind of find a way to not be like, oh, America great, you guys suck because you're not America. But I think if you listen to especially his next few sentences after that, I think he realized how what he had said. He stumbled and he was trying to find a way, and he was fishing for any way out of that.
Somebody asked him a question. Somebody asked him a question that was not on the approved list.
Yeah, Joker, he was giving you a run for your money. He was.
I know he was. I was.
All of the imagery aside, it's not like there haven't been a gazillion Captain Americas already. I think they have a good idea of what Captain America means. He didn't even need to clarify. He just needed to go right on the coattails of what was and go, hey, this is going to be another cool version. Like, why even worry about what it embodies or any of that? Simply because it's already happened. We already know who Captain America is.
It wasn't until the Marvel films that Cap became an A tier, became an A-list comic book character. I mean, Matt will attest to this for like the longest time. Cap was a B tier.
Yeah, for a long time prior to about 2000 and I want to say 7 or so. So the Marvel's A tier basically was the Hulk and Spider-Man. And Wolverine. As far as no, that's in comics. I'm saying that got recognition outside of the comic book, yeah. So and then what happened in the 2000s? Marvel did one of their like resets, and Ben just came and said, "Wait a minute, these are our main characters: Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. Also with the Hulk and Spider-Man. Why aren't we pushing them on the Avengers? And why are you constantly on your main team up book, the Avengers?" Pushing all these B and C tier characters that no one cares about, that can't carry their own books. So a push at Marvel happened. That basically they started pushing what we think of as the main Marvel character now: Thor, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hulk, Captain America, Scarlet,
the Widow.
The Widow.
Black.
Basically, and that became the Avengers, and there was a big sales boost for a while. Before they wokeified it and destroyed all the comics. And so Bendis was right that these characters have 50 years of legacy, right? But we're not pushing them. Why do we want to push these low tier characters? And now the reason they were pushing low tier characters was because the writers who created them wanted the residuals, so then the movies came along, and they said, okay, well we have our top tier characters. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, but we're going to push them, and instead of grabbing like Tigress and making Tigress, making a movie about her, and who cares? You know what I mean? It's like, and then they destroy it all when they woke.
Yeah, hey, welcome Nas. Roman's not here today.
I mean,
that doesn't
amazing.
mean we're going to be doing any links that you send. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm 51 years old, right? And it's been so it's kind of funny. I was laid off of my job of 23 years, and it's been about 23 years since the Marvel modern era happened, right? Oh. And we've gone through these early movies, which were low budget, very successful, like surprise successes, like Hulk, the second Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, right? Then, very popular. The first Avengers film popular. The people claim that the second, like Iron Man 2 and Thor 2 and all, were bad, but they made a profit. People still enjoyed them, right? So successes for the first era of these movies. Then we get, as it evolved, it's like they all of a sudden this woke trajectory happened, and all of them went over the pit. You know what I mean? Like every franchise they had, every new franchise they had.
2018.
Yeah.
2018. 2018 when Kevin Feige gave an interview to Screen Rant saying this is like after Endgame or right as Endgame is about to be released, expect more female characters and more female heroes to come for Marvel. That is where the MCU started from, right there.
Well, here's the thing, though. There are female characters who they could have. See, the thing is, there are female characters you could have enjoyed. I mean, the Captain Marvel, for example, the horrible Captain Marvel movie. That
Ms.
character,
Marvel.
what was okay until what's her name, Kelly Sue DuConnick or whatever.
DuConnick, right?
Yeah, she ruined that character, and I was like, oh no, they're making a movie about the Kelly Sue DuConnick like version of the character. It's going to be horrible, you know. Again, who is the female Miss Marvel? The first
Kamala Khan.
The first 5 years of that comic book were really good, you know. And then the feminists got a hold of the character and ruined it, right? So there are female characters they've had through a history. We could have some good movies about.
And supposedly, one of those writers is supposed to be writing a Star Wars film or directing a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
So let me ask the panel this, like Eclectic Goat and Squeeka, have you? Apparently, you're not really comic book fans. Have you ever read like comic books before?
So,
you know, like got into a series of them or something?
So my whole thing was I refused to get into mainstream comic books because I would go broke. And so I exclusively read like limited run indie comics. So,
Okay. Like vampire stuff or anything?
my favorite is Lazarus, which I think actually might be Image or Dark Horse or one of those, but it was only like 6 graphic novels, and everybody loves Sandman, things like that, but but yeah, stuff that wasn't going to go on forever, that
right.
I
Okay.
could that had a stopping point. So
Yeah. And apparently Invader Zim is a fan. Also, hello to Tom's Tinkering Adventures. And let's see
No,
here.
I haven't read any comic books or I mean, I know of them because I've hung out with people that are comic book fans, but no, reading is hard. I don't do that. No,
Do you have a favorite comic book character?
Pardon?
Do you have a favorite comic book character?
Oh, I mean, on the Marvel side, it's always been Storm.
Okay, cool.
And then, I mean, I've on the DC side, it's always been Wonder Woman. And I've like been with people that had comic books, and one person had like a multi-volume set of Spider-Man. So or in Green Lantern. So I've known of some of them, but not to the depth that, no, not on collecting.
Okay. So the gist of this article is he ran his mouth, and now they're worried about how the movie's going to do.
Well, I think they're going to try to blame it on him running his mouth.
They will.
Oh, for it being a poor quality movie? Yeah, probably. I mean, it didn't help. That's for sure. I don't know. I mean, does anybody here think that it might actually be a good movie?
I don't really. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty watered down. There's rumors out there that have been around for a while that the Red Hulk was only in there for a matter of just like a couple of minutes, and they've been plastering him on every single bit of marketing, which makes you kind of wonder what the rest of the movie is actually going to be if that is true, that's only such a small part of the film. But I mean, just how Marvel movies have been going, I just don't expect it to be what they were. Right. And the burnout is already there anyway. So even if it was at the same level that it was, I just don't see the fans flocking to it like they have before.
So do you smell a bait and switch of some kind? Kind of.
Maybe. It's hard to tell. I mean, sometimes the bait and switch with trailers is done well, like when they showed Thor with 2 eyes instead of just his 1 eye. They showed him with 2 in the trailer, but he actually had his eye ripped out in the actual movie. The Hulk in Avengers Infinity War, I think it was, when it was actually Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster armor, that was an interesting switch. I don't really like why they put him in that, but sometimes they do things in trailers that are different, because often trailers are run by different companies than the actual production companies for the movies.
Right.
So
yeah, I've pretty much stopped watching trailers.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a switch.
I don't like trailers that show you stuff and then it's not in the movie, like whole sequences and things. So
Well, I mean, they've rewritten this so many times that the people that are doing the trailers probably have totally different different footage than what actually made the end cut. But
trailers that I absolutely hate are ones that spoil the movie.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's almost every modern trailer now. You see
Like now it's been a few months. Almost all of the Dune 2 trailers, I'm like, no, don't show that particular thing. You know what I mean? Like that he was fighting Bade.
Right.
There are a couple of things, and I'm like, why are you showing? Like, because you're telling, like you're saying, okay, he's going to get to the Harkonnens, and it's supposed to be the story. You know what I mean? Like there's no.
I
other,
wish
like,
they.
Go
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to repeat this. Like I just see trailer after trailer in the modern era where someone, like they let someone see the whole movie, and the person, I'll just put that scene from the end of the movie in there, and you know.
Well,
I wish they hadn't shown that Christopher Walken was the Emperor. I think that would have been cool if it had been a.
Oh yeah, I know that would have
reveal.
made Canoli's day. Comes in.
Don't get me started because I was so disappointed by Dune Part 2. But just don't.
Yeah, it was too.
Just real quick to put the the ending on this Anthony Mackie Captain America thing. I just happened to stumble while y'all were talking onto a link to I don't have to share it right now. I can if you want, but it's an Esquire interview where he says, and I quote, when they're asking about his tenure in the MCU, quote, I give it a solid 10 years. 10 years. You have the 2 Avengers movies. You have hopefully another Captain America, and then random plug-and-play movies. Oh, Spider-Man. Oh, Fantastic Four. What are you doing here? But you never know. I mean, I don't want to be a 60-year-old Captain America. The dude is very optimistic if he thinks he's got 10 years as Captain America and that many movies.
Well, if they keep effing around and finding out with these movies, it ain't going to be that long for sure.
Yeah.
So,
but I just wanted to toss that in there.
That's Beard or Bruce is saying that Beard turned Canadian for a second.
Yes.
So I do have a question, and I asked this yesterday and I never got a good answer, but has anybody thought to tell Anthony Mackie that he just needs to do better?
Oh, yeah.
You need to do better, Captain.
That's right after I tell him he's not getting his boat loan.
Oh, that was so dumb.
So terrible. Dude,
let's move on from this disaster.
All right, so the next thing we got is Robert Eggers' next film will be a werewolf movie, Werewolf, which is supposed to be set in like Old English, so it's going to be all in Old English or something, in the 13th century, and the dialogue specific to the period, with translations and annotations, which presumably means subtitles. So if anybody saw like Apocalypto, the whole thing was in Mayan or whatever it was.
This is a weird choice.
Yeah. 13th century English doesn't sound anything like English except, maybe for some. Apparently there are a couple of like islands off the coast of New England that still are pretty close to Old English, but otherwise it doesn't sound anything like what we speak now.
The language is before the Great Vowel Shift.
Well, Old English is very close to the Norse languages still, the Germanic tongues. Yeah. One of the things Tolkien was big on was part of the languages he created are very similar essentially to Old English.
Still sounds like a better movie than Captain America.
Oh yeah, I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, just seeing that headline and just seeing the name Robert Eggers, and I'm like, all right, I'm already.
Now the question: Do we know anything about this actual movie besides what's in this article?
I don't really know.
So, okay, so in Norse mythology, so is this actually about a werewolf, or is this about I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this, an Ulfhanar, which is what what's his face was in
a Wolfman?
Well, it's like a wolf version of a berserker. So berserkers are bears, bear warriors, so to speak, or wear the skin of bears, right?
Yeah, the bear wolf.
Ulfhanar are the wolf version of that. They wear the skins of wolves and fight in packs and all that. And that's what what's his face was in Norseman. And and this is given when this is set, 13th century. This is when the we still have the remnants of the Norse in like invading England. Could this in fact be something like that, where this is a partially supernatural thing, like Amleth was? I have a feeling it's going to be like that, where there'll be supernatural elements, but it's not going to be like he turned into a giant wolf monster.
For some reason, it's terribly difficult to get a good werewolf. Like, there's tons of like vampire movies out there, but it seems to be really hard to get a good werewolf movie. So, as long as it's good, I don't really care what route he takes with it. I just want a good werewolf movie.
Teen Wolf is the best.
Yeah.
Seeing as how, if you look, this
Beard,
is like
did you just say Teen Wolf?
I'm kidding. Honestly, the old black and white like Wolfman is fantastic.
There's a movie called Werewolves that just came out this month or last month. Really good. It's surprisingly good.
I think Nadia reviewed that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say every review I've seen for it has been terrible, so I didn't.
It's not like a high like art film. It's more like a fun popcorny movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Popcorn.
So Tom thinks that the werewolf movie might be good, but he can't keep up with the Marvel stuff because of it's just coming out too fast.
Actually, not to say anything, but Marvel last year, was it last year or the year before, did a Halloween special of the comic Werewolf by Night. Is actually really good.
Well, I think this movie is going to actually have werewolves in it for the simple fact that it has the Wolfman 1941 clip here embedded in this article, and also this transformation, like good transformations. Now, that's yet to be seen, I guess. According to this, Edgar's wanted to do it in black and white, and the studio told him, all right, let's not go nuts.
What's wrong with that?
I think they should have given him the shot. I mean, look what he managed to do. They didn't like the idea of the scenes lit entirely with candles either, and it was amazing.
And black and white still has its place.
I think Robert Eggers is at a point that in the 4 films he has done, his color palette is extremely muted, but it is beautifully done. I think he's found his niche. And if he wants to go the black and white road, let him.
The thing is, with modern technology, you can film it in color and make it black and white in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
But here on this article, see, I read a lot of these articles too, and the question is, did this person see that Edgar was making a film called The Werewolf and decided just to filler it with every werewolf thing? Like this is the writer speculating. The writer didn't get a sheet from the movie saying this is what it's about. They're just speculating based on the name and who's doing it.
Yeah, that
probably
I can see that. But I mean, a movie from him with werewolves. Look at Nosferatu. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but if Nos likes it, then
it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's very good.
Yeah. And then
I'm a tech buff. I really care about like how movies are made and like the interesting things that go on, as well as the movies themselves. And lighting, especially the lighting in that movie, is just incredible.
And that's actually the lighting is actually something that you notice. I think, especially watching movies on Jacob's channel, watching older movies, that's something that stands out more with black and white movies because they have to light things differently.
Right. Yeah. I was just going to bring that up with the Wolfman. We reviewed that on Jacob's channel, so go over there and check it out.
And guess what, guys? It's only like an hour and 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
unlike modern like 3-hour movies.
But it had a bunch of groundbreaking techniques for changing the guy into the werewolf and everything.
But I do think there's a lot of like opportunity there for if they gave a green light for black and white, to light things differently and give like you choose wardrobe because you have to look at the contrast, how it appears in black and white, not necessarily how the color looks on the film and things like that. You have to approach it all this whole different way that gives it its own look. And I think that there's a lot of potential there.
Didn't he do The Lighthouse, which was
Yes.
black and white?
Yep.
And that got really good oh yeah, it's right in the article. Never mind.
He also did The Witch. He also did The Witch, which is basically a black and white film. It's very unique.
I wonder why they were so opposed to him doing a werewolf movie in black and white. Seems weird.
Well, I think the issue isn't doing. I think the issue is he only wanted to do a black and white, and they're saying do it in color and make it black and white later. You know, I mean,
it doesn't work that way though. I mean,
you can, but you lose some of like what I was saying, where you light it differently, where you choose wardrobe and color differently because it reflects differently on black and white. It's kind of like when I do still photography, I can put an orange lens on or filter on my camera if I'm taking a black and white, and it gives me a very different picture than if I take a full color image and then convert it straight to black and white.
I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm saying is they made Godzilla -1 that way with a black and white version, and they made Blood and Chrome edition. Why is my mind just locking up right now?
I mean,
Mad Max 4. They black and like they released a color and a black and white later, and it was excellent looking. You know what I mean? It wasn't so if you do it right, you can still get the effect of it. You know what I mean?
You can, it's just not. It's not the same though.
No, but nowadays it's a lot easier because you can go in and change certain colors and stuff in it to make it look better.
Yeah, we're probably getting into the same nuance that certain people come down to while you're still listening to vinyl in 2025.
Yeah.
So
right.
So I'm gonna throw my hands up and I'm gonna say I'm done with this argument. I don't know what I'm talking about.
As well, because in Ghost of Tsushima, you could turn on the Kurosawa mode, which made it like grainy black and white, and you could play the entire game in it, which fundamentally changed how it looked because it's a vibrant, beautiful, colorful game, blood everywhere and all this. You change it to black and white, and it immediately has a different feel to it. So you could also play it in total Japanese with subtitles, or like English and stuff. So it was really cool to be able to do that.
For the record, I firmly believe that classical is always better on vinyl.
Classical music?
Beard, don't do that. Beard, God damn it.
All right, so the next article we have is Skeleton Crew rating spell doom for Star Wars.
Who cares? Who cares?
I did watch it because I was it piqued my interest a little bit. So it was kind of like the Goonies, 80s kind of feel to it, kids on
That's
adventure.
what it seemed like.
But I didn't really care for it. By the end, it kind of fell apart.
I haven't gotten to the end yet. I did watch the beginning. I thought it was okay, but I did not understand why they'd made it Star Wars. Like, I think it would have done better if they had not tried to shoehorn it into the Star Wars universe.
Right. Yeah. It had some decent, interesting parts, but the way the main character or I guess he's the villain, who knows what he was doing was weird. And it got really creepy towards the kids, like towards the end with him. Right. And I was like, yeah.
All right. Neon Neon from Clownfish said it best. He said, Star Wars dies with Generation X.
Right. Yep. But basically this article is talking about how its ratings were super low when nobody watched it, because honestly, let's be honest, everybody thought it was going to be woke garbage because everything else is woke garbage they put out.
I mean,
except for Andor.
There are some things I've heard out there that it's like it's okay, or it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's suffering even more than Andor did, where Andor was actually pretty decent. I still think it was slow, but it was a good story. But
Andor was just dull. Andor was dull.
Yes, it was dull. It was a good story, but they drug it out way too long.
Right.
But this suffers the same thing that Marvel is suffering, thanks Disney, as it's watered down with poor writing, with too many things coming out too frequently, and not giving people what they actually are looking for. And even when they come out with something like this that might be kind of okay, I'm giving it at best, hands up, I'm giving it at best, kind of okay. Nobody cares because they've been burned so many times before. They're not going to give this a second glance. And again, like you said earlier, Joker, apathy is what kills these things. And I'm apathetic towards Star Wars, and I'm a diehard Star Wars fan.
Right, and here's the other thing. Lucasfilm, they have the metric now. The metric is Andor. If your ratings fall below Andor, you're not getting renewed. You're not getting a second season. That's it.
Now, am I the only one who's watched this?
I did not. I did not care. I dropped Disney Plus.
I watched the first half.
I dropped Disney Plus after we reviewed the Acolyte, and I have not missed it at all.
I haven't watched it at all.
So you got acolyted.
Yeah.
Well, it was just
Star Wars, as bad as the Acolyte.
Well,
to me, it's not as bad as the Acolyte, but it's not as good as Andor.
Nothing was worse than the Acolyte.
I
Andor
think that Kenobi show was
Obi-Wan was worse than the Acolyte.
I didn't.
Obi-Wan.
Well, I didn't have to edit scripts for Obi-Wan, so I didn't.
Because you didn't get in Acolyte they didn't a character assassinate a beloved character.
But see, here's
the entire timeline
here's the thing.
Of the series.
Here's the thing. Even if you took the Acolyte out of Star Wars completely, just as a writer and editor, if it stood alone on its own, not as part of Star Wars, so you weren't talking about a character assassinating, you're not talking about lore, you're not talking about any of the history, the writing alone is so atrocious. It was the first thing to make me really angry.
All of their recent scripts for Disney Plus are basically bad fan fiction, literally.
Yeah,
it's what it is. Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm going to throw this out there, not because we need to hear it or really anybody in the chat needs to hear it, but I'm just going to throw it out there anyway. I think I speak for all of us. When we want good Star Wars, we're not just shitting on Star Wars because we hate Star Wars. We want good Star Wars.
Right. And as far as me as with Disney Plus, it wasn't the Acolyte that was finally my final straw. I was like, I'm not watching this enough to justify paying for it.
Right.
Absolutely. 100%.
I do think though that the other reason that this is lower than the Acolyte is that everyone knew the Acolyte was just completely a dumpster fire. So if nothing else, you had the people who were watching it in horrid fascination. And you had people who were watching it to review it, which is where I got stuck. Whereas this, I think it's not just that people are saying, well, Star Wars isn't any good anymore and I've given up. It's also that this isn't bad enough to be a dumpster fire for people to be reviewing. And I think the same thing happened with Agatha all along. It wasn't great. And it shouldn't have been part of the Marvel universe, but it also wasn't terrible enough for anyone to care enough to even get angry.
It could be that people aren't just ready to sit down and just riff on it, but it also could be that the apathy has set in, like we've said before, and that nobody's even willing to give it enough attention to
I think it's both.
it.
The Acolyte made people angry at least. No, this isn't even enough to make people angry.
I watched Agatha all along just so I could talk intelligently about it, and it had one decent episode, and it was barely that way, but the writing was at least intelligent and interesting in it. And I think it was episode 6 or 7, but other than that, it was terrible. I was like, you got people that can kind of act in here, and you're just wasting them. Then of course, they had to make one character gay, and
so speaking of decent actors and bad writing, and forgive me if I'm forcing the segue to what you've got on the screen. I haven't seen this. I've seen clips. My God, does this seem like some really, really bad decision making and writing and
Oh yeah.
just taking somebody like Michelle Yeoh and just like giving her nothing to work with, and like she's basically just there fulfilling a contract.
Speaking of
winner.
things that will make
Is
me
that
angry,
a Mohawk Borg?
It's a
Yeah.
shame for Michelle
No,
Yeoh.
he's
It's a
just
shame.
he's just robotic man, and he's like a comedic guy. It's not like, okay, let me just throw this out there. I haven't seen it, but if you've seen clips, it seems like they took this gritty spy Star Trek thing and decided to try to make it a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy, so it's a bunch of shoehorned comedy in there.
Oh.
It's, I don't know, what I've seen is bad. If anybody knows any more, take away, because I've burned
Well,
all my knowledge.
First off, it's in the
That might be a
Discovery
good look for you,
universe.
Beard.
Yes,
Mohawk.
it's in the Discovery universe.
Yeah, so right there, that means it's no, thank you.
Which, according at least before when this was made, that was before there was talks about actually splitting the Discovery universe from the original timeline. I don't know if they actually ever decided to actually do
they
that.
did. It is.
yeah,
Okay.
they did.
The last
So they
episode
did,
of
okay.
Lower Decks, basically by orders from above, made all Kirky track separate.
Okay.
But the shame
That's
here
good.
is this should be Michelle Yeoh's her big break, so to speak, in the West. And she is. I've seen her in so many movies in the Hong Kong cinema. She's a great actress. She's an excellent action star for a female action star, and she gets nothing.
She has been for decades.
Yeah, and she gets nothing. Garbage treatment.
Right.
Yeah, so all the rage that other people feel about Star Wars getting like destroyed, I was always more a Star Trek person than a Star Wars person. And so this just like I literally don't think I could sit through this because I would either scream or cry or something.
Please don't. You'll harm yourself before it's
The
done.
only reason that I would even consider
Don't
watching
do it.
this is it had Michelle Yeoh in it. That'd be the
No.
only reason.
Not even worth
but-
it.
But then
Just
it
the
can
clips
ruin Star Trek and her for you.
Oh, Star Trek's already ruined. It'd be ruining her. But I don't know. I mean, never mind. I was going to say something about ruining, and I was like, I'll leave.
It's
leave it
so
at that.
bad. They just have random banter, like that robot dude she's leaned over talking to. He is getting confused over if it's, what is it? Heaven Sent or Heaven Send? I think it is. Sent with a T or send with a D. And they have this back and forth that goes on for like 45 seconds over what the proper phrase is. And it's supposed to be this played for comedy thing, and it's just dumb.
Well, I can't call Star Trek ruined because I can go back and watch tons of good TV shows and movies from the past and still enjoy them.
Yeah, I refuse to let my old Star Trek or my old Star Wars get ruined because I love both of them pretty much equally. A little bit more Star Wars, but still.
But Bush ain't wrong here. The Kurtzman and Abrams Trek is complete trash. It never needed a reboot. They should have just moved on from the timeline and just kept going forward with it instead of going back and putting a new Kirk in there. It was dumb.
Maybe an unpopular opinion. Yes, the Abrams Trek is garbage. But the third movie Beastie Boys sequence, as stupid as it is, I'm not saying it's a good Star Trek sequence.
It's a fun
ass action sequence.
Well, look, I'm going to be fair to the movie, the three movies, right? The first one was okay. It wasn't great. It was just okay. And the actors did a great job playing the characters, right? There was some bad writing that they had to deal with, but the actors were a good cast, right? The movie could have been a lot better, but it was okay. It wasn't great. It was just okay. The second one was stupid, just utterly stupid. And they ruined the Wrath of Khan. Like
oh yes,
they just ruined the greatest Star Trek film, certainly. In my opinion, one of the 10 best movies of all time, Star Trek 2. And they ruined it with that film. Just ruined it.
The original episode with Khan in it was better than that movie.
Oh, dude, the original episode with Khan is better than any Kurtzman or anything that freaking what's his name has done by far.
And then,
just the scene
that's
where
why he got a movie.
the scene where he rizzes up that human, That is a masterclass in how you do that. Man, he had her wrapped around his finger like nobody's business. It was crazily, it was insane. You just don't see that these days. That's how much charisma that guy had.
Oh, Ricardo Montalban is an amazing
Yeah.
actor. I mean, you guys probably only know him as Khan and Mr. Rourke, but go check out some of his subtitled Spanish movies, man. He's or some of the westerns he was in. You know, he's an amazing actor.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Zach? Roman's not here tonight.
He has incredible charisma.
But, I mean,
it's just, you know.
Just for anybody who hasn't seen any of some of the Star Trek Discovery stuff, or not, especially not the Section 31 movie, which was supposed to be a TV show until they realized they didn't really have enough there to make a TV show, even after being delayed during the COVID stuff. So they kind of forced everything into a movie, at least as far as I understand. Basically, what if Star Trek, like Next Generation, had like modern Marvel humor? Where like a serious thing is happening, instead of like treating it seriously and treating the ship like there's a structure, like an ordered structure of command and a process to fix the warp core to save the day because this planet's relying on you. You stop and have little quippy moments because, you know, wordplay and jab each other in the ribs. That's kind of what this is like.
Did it have a ridiculously out of shape, overweight human beat everybody in a run where they stopped for 5 minutes to talk to somebody and kept running and won?
Like I've not seen enough of this.
Discovery.
I've not seen any. A full disclosure, I've not watched any of Discovery or Section 31. I've seen clips. So full disclosure, I'm basing my judgment off the clips I've seen. But I mean, I've seen a couple different reviews on it, and none of them are praising this.
No, everybody thinks it's kind of garbage. So
I can't remember exactly, but I think I watched the first episode and 5 minutes of the second episode of Discovery, and I knew it sucked.
Yeah, it's terrible. There's no chain of command.
Yeah,
it's garbage. Anyway,
so last Star Wars, the last Star Trek I saw was the JJ second film, Into Darkness. That's my last thing was Star Trek.
Don't get me started on the Discovery Klingons either.
Oh, the Klingon.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on to the new Superman movie. Now it's getting a lot of flack because of this sequence here. He's like flying and does a spin over thing, and it just looks bad. But the director's saying, "Oh no, that's just the camera. It was all practical." It's like, well,
so okay, hold on. I will say this: it does look a little bit. I think it looks a little bit bad because it seems to be too realistic. Like it's not stylized enough. Like it seems too grounded in our reality, which makes it seem unbelievable. We need our superheroes to be something greater than us. So something here just seems too real. But when you're looking at his face, and the thing that people pointed out about his eyes is dealing with photography like I have. If you go with a hyper wide angle lens, then it actually does start distorting things. Like even a car's headlights that should be pointing straight at you start veering outwards if you go with too wide of an angle of a lens. So I'm not saying that's what he said is true. I'm just saying that's possible.
But look at this picture. Okay, this looks CGI'd to me, and because it's cloak and whatever. But what he looks like to me is like Odo trying to mimic Superman.
Okay, so
I'm sure he was just laying on a table and everything else around him, including his chest and arms, is CGI, but still.
So to get to the sort of optics, like physics optics, when you let's say we're in the real world and an F-15 flies by, right? Like far away that it won't wipe you out in its wake, but close enough you can see it, right? So let's say a kilometer up or whatever. Visually, once it's going past about, let's say, past about a couple hundred kilometers per hour, it's going to distort. You know what I mean? And so you're going to get some visual distortion. So when I first saw this scene, I was like, are they actually going to show visual distortion when Superman is flying? Because they don't usually, they didn't really do that too much in the previous movies. They did do it in the Superman and Lois TV show, which you also go watch. It just concluded. But like they always still had a visual clarity when you watch Cavill fly or Reeves fly or even Dean Cain in that show. Now, so is he going for this? Like, are we going to see shots of Superman blurry constantly when he's moving, that fast? which it would make sense from a normal person looking at something moving that fast. That was my first thought when I saw this, right? But my question is, like, is this a finished effect? In other words,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I
Right,
think the
right.
whole point of him saying, no, this is the practical effect was we haven't touched this up at all.
Oh, so there's
I,
no
for
like
one,
post on it.
applaud the inclusion for people with crazy eyes like me. Just saying. That's what I'm gonna go with.
So
I-
here.
Okay, here
Mad Eye
is my
Squeeka.
take. Here is my take on this whole thing. I think people are looking for a reason to hate this film right out the
Same.
gate.
Same.
That was going to be my question: is who here thinks
Yeah.
it's going to be actually good?
I think it could be good.
I think
do.
it could be. I don't know if
Could
it's
be,
going to be.
yeah.
I think it could be.
I am cautiously
It's 50-50 for me.
optimistic about this film. I've liked Gunn's work in the past. Everything from the casting that he has done, I think, has been spotted on. Everything he has been saying leading up to this film, that Superman is about truth, justice, and the American way. I'm fine with this. I think I think this has a lot of the moment. I think this has a lot of positives going forward. We just have a bunch of folks who still cannot get over the fact that Henry fucking Cavill is no longer Superman, and they just need to get over this because Henry has moved on. They need to move.
I'll
move
never get
on.
over it. You can't.
Well,
make
you
it.
should.
I
Well-
think
Is this going to be like a battle royale between is this movie better or Captain America? Like, is this what this is? Like, you
I-
get
this-
to pick from the worst,
this-
the bottom of the barrel.
This movie, at the very least, will be okay. It won't. I don't know. I mean, I think they're maybe putting too many supporting characters in the first movie.
That's possible, and that
You know,
and this could also be
like I don't mind Guy Gardner in there. A second high-powered character that backs me up.
I still hate his
You know,
hair.
Well,
But
it's
Guy Gardner.
But then
Well, it's
everybody
comic accurate,
complained
though.
that we weren't comic book accurate
know.
enough.
no,
I know.
it's
I know. I
it-
still hate his hair. I don't care. I just still hate it.
well. I wish they had made it more comic book accurate with when Guy had the bowl cut. It's a little. It looked like still as bad, but not as bad, so to speak. I do like Crypto being in there. I hate that
I do
Crypto
too.
doesn't look like Crypto. I understand why a director did it, but Crypto should look like Crypto, not James Gunn's dog. But I'm happy Crypto's there. I'm a big.
I thought there were multiple renditions of Crypto.
I
I mean, I know the traditional
Crypto
one is the big
is
white lab,
Labrador.
but
Yeah, it's a big lab.
I thought there had been other Cryptos as well.
There have been other. The dog always looks like big though, like not a lap dog.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it seems, if I remember correctly, and again, I'm not a comic book guy, but anytime I've seen him, it seems to be like a big lab or like short hair sort of thing, not this kind of like bristly haired dog like the guy have in this.
But that's a good boy. But that's a good boy, though. That's a good dog.
I kind of like the idea though that Superman has a dog that looks like a rescue. It seems appropriate.
Yeah.
And I do want to kind of piggyback what you were saying earlier, Joker, that there are a lot of people looking to hate this film just because. And I think, I got some pushback from that first picture that was released. And my criticism was I think it was a bad first image to release. Not that not that other things looked bad.
Right.
I just thought it was a bad decision to release that as its first image.
Likewise.
And I got some pushback on that because no, it's this and that and the other. I'm like, no, look, hold on, chill. This is the first image. This is all we've seen so far. We don't know enough yet to hate on this.
Right. And I get the folks. I get folks who are like, oh, this film's going to be about this. And I'm like, look, guys, we have all seen the same 180 seconds. You have no fucking clue what this film is about.
I'm happy with the costume. The only thing I don't like that they're apparently doing in this film is the same thing they did in Man of Steel, with that overlying blue palette that makes the reds look less vibrant. By the way, if you ever go find the fan cut where they took the blue filter off, visually speaking, Man of Steel looks quite different in a good way. So
It's still a shit film.
Regardless,
right.
You see how his red cape looks sort of muted. That's that, and you can see like that's that blue filter, and I think they use that in a lot of movies now.
Is that throughout the entire trailer that we see, or is that just because it's within like a cold environment? That typically is where filmmakers take the color tones when they're color grading their film.
My memory of the clip, of the trailer clip, whatever, is his costume looked that sort of color throughout.
Okay.
Really, I thought there were scenes like I thought there were scenes where he looked very vibrant.
I mean, again, it's a trailer, so it's not the final cut, so that could change.
Let's get down to brass tacks here, ladies. This guy or Henry Cavill? Which one do you prefer?
David Cornsweet.
Okay, I'm going to commit blasphemy here. I didn't really like Henry Cavill.
Thank you.
As Superman, or
he was a good Superman. He was terrible Clark Kent.
I have
visually.
said this.
Visually, let me rephrase.
Okay.
Visually, he was a good Superman.
I have said this numerous times. The Man of Steel was a decent superhero film. It's a terrible Superman film.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But he never could pull off Clark Kent because he always looks like Superman.
Right.
Well, that was the bad writing in the movie, though, too.
No.
Well,
I
get your saying, Goat.
When he's not in a Superman movie, he still looks like Superman.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, in the suit, I think that Cavill was like what we see, despite how Superman is drawn in a comic. In most people's mind's eye, he is what people kind of picture as a realized Superman. I get that. This guy, I kind of like because he's harkening back more to like,
Reeve.
The Christopher Reeves era of a normal dude sort of thing, which honestly, I think kind of is a little bit a better depiction of Superman who doesn't need to be muscular because he has this alien ability to, he could be a skinny ass bitch and still be able to lift a building over his head.
Right. Because cause he's strong because he's a Kryptonian, not because he's jacked.
Yeah. I mean, so I kind of like them both in their own different realms, and I hope that this is good. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
I mean, the clip we saw where he's playing Clark Kent, you could really believe that people would not be able to tell that he was Superman.
Like, he has a broccoli haircut. He looks like a F-boy.
He looked more like he looked more like what's his name from the IT crowd with that haircut.
Moss.
Yeah. He goes from I'm Superman to hey, I'm a douchebag. That's what he looks like.
It's good camouflage.
The transformation was actually like he looks like he could play a nerd.
I believe there's an animated film. I believe it's Injustice. I mean, don't quote me on that. But where Superman has been kept in a prison which has low radiation red kryptonite lighting, so the muscles have all atrophied and he's skinny as fuck, but once he hits the yellow sun he's still skinny, but he's just as strong. So
right.
So,
well, yeah, Superman's powers work differently from different incarnation. You got to be careful with that, like which version of Superman. Like, for example, pre-crisis Kryptonians, it was like an on switch. The light, the brighter the sunlight, like going from red to blue, basically red, yellow, blue, and all that. The more powerful they got, so to speak. You know what I mean?
No, he's not.
Yeah. Whereas post-crisis Kryptonians, muscle mass mattered. Because the more body they had, the more they could store solar energy. Blah blah blah. It was, and then the alternate universes. It's a very like breaking down Superman's powers by version is kind of like,
This really does look like the Reeves Superman to me, though.
More the Reeves style.
Reeves,
yes.
I think the issue is there are a lot of people that are, much, much younger than I am that don't remember anything other than the Henry Cavill style. Mm-hmm. And to me, Reeves will always be Superman. Forget Henry Cavill.
Reeves was the best Clark Kent.
Yes.
By far.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Well, and to me,
his
Clark
transition
Kent
from being a nerd to hey, I'm Superman was like a light switch. It was amazing.
Tyler Hoechlin, who played him in Superman and Lois, He's probably the second best portrayal of Superman.
I was
ever.
specifically referring to movies.
Unfortunately, Superman movies, you got like Superman 1 is like probably my third favorite film of all time. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. After that, it kind of gets I don't want to say bad because Superman 2 was okay. The Donner cut's way better.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Matt. They do go down in quality.
I like Superman Returns a lot more than a lot of people.
I like Brandon Routh. I did.
I mean, the only thing that movie needed was a villain fight at the end.
Same Joker.
I mean, I think, and a lot of folks give Brandon Routh flack that he wasn't good Superman. He wasn't playing Superman. He was playing Christopher Reeve playing Superman.
Which was the intent, was to get him back to get past Superman 3 and 4, which are out of continuity now. Get back on track, do Superman Returns, and then do Superman Returns 2, whatever you were going to call it, and all that. And I really wish they had continued. Anyway,
it's probably another hot take, but I have never found Superman interesting. I find Clark Kent interesting because Superman like rarely has any stakes.
He's a cheat code.
It's the people he cares about as Clark Kent that make him interesting as Superman.
Ooh.
And so I was more interested in this Superman movie than I expected to be when I saw the trailer, because the first thing they showed us was, Superman actually has stakes and can get hurt.
Well, he can certainly get hurt. I mean,
come on. Look at the Snyder Justice League. Like, he showed up and immediately, like, stakes were done. Like, I just sat back and I was like, all right, movie's over, because, like, he's just going to handle everything now.
Superman is that powerful. Everyone now, had Darkseid walked through the portal, Superman would have been raffle-stomped, but that's the nature of the character, right? If you want to understand what could hurt Superman, obviously in Superman the movie, where Lois died, and Superman went back in time to save her. For those who don't understand what the effect,
he went back in time.
He went back in time because everything else still happened. Like all the disasters still happened. He just happened to go back in time and save Lois. So,
but again, that's the thing he cared about as Clark Kent. Like, if he hadn't had that very human connection, Superman on his own is not interesting without the Clark Kent human connection.
And Clark Kent's not interesting without the abilities of Superman.
I mean, there's no movie without the abilities of Superman, but
Clark has nothing to do with the abilities of Superman.
No, I get what you're saying, Goat, because Superman as himself has so few weaknesses. The weaknesses of him trying to be human and his human connections are his vulnerabilities.
So, there's a great sort of line he comes in Superman the animated series, or is it Justice League?
As Clark Kent, he's got a lot to lose. If people find out he's Superman, he's got a lot to lose as Clark Kent.
Yeah,
but as Superman, he's pretty much all powerful.
I think I know the line you're talking about, Matt. It's
the world made of cardboard.
Yeah,
it's
toward the end. Yeah, it's toward the end of Justice League.
Yes, so he's
it's Justice.
Superman,
no, it's actually Justice League Unlimited.
Darkseid shows up finally on the Earth, and he goes, I don't remember the whole time. I'm just paraphrasing it. You got me give Susu a problem. I feel like I'm living in a world made of cardboard, and with you, I could finally stop holding.
Let loose, big boy. But you, big boy, you can take it.
I mean, Darkseid still one shot him, but yeah.
So now you get to see just how powerful I really am.
And that's another thing where Superman is constantly trying to protect the world, but if his leg spasms too hard, he could cause an earthquake.
This is why he and Lois can never have a kid.
I was going to say, you've heard the joke about Man of Steel, Woman of Tissue Paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Blast a hole in
that's a cannon. I mean, that's a cannon shot there.
I wish I still had it, but a science fiction writer wrote an essay back in like the 1950s or 60s about the effect, the ramifications of Superman having wet dreams when he was a teenager. Like
I mean, that sounds like something from Mallrats.
Okay, so this
we had this talk in
wasn't Squeeka M, was it?
So he would be. He said yesterday was like he'd be releasing hundreds of thousands of superpowered sperm into the atmosphere. Every woman on the planet will be pregnant with a Kryptonian baby within weeks of him going to puberty.
It's just this mist of super baby.
Yeah.
And with that, we move on.
And on that note,
Marvel overhauling.
I'm never
Onward
walking out
again.
into the fog again. Thanks, guys.
Don't do it.
But you would have a super baby. Yeah. Oh God!
See, I didn't even know. I didn't even know Armored Wars was still a thing. I've stopped paying attention to any of Marvel things.
Again and again, this goes back.
This is the same. It's the same thing as Captain America. It doesn't have Captain America in it. This will not have Iron Man in it. It's moot point at this.
At least they're not trying to pass him off as Iron Man.
Exactly, he's his own character.
Yeah, but still,
well, his character.
Iron Man is a part of the Armor Wars. I mean,
well, that's the thing.
But my whole thing is this: as Beard just eloquently put, I forgot this. I forgot this was a thing because nobody cares. The apathy is here. The apathy has set in.
I knew it was a thing, but I assumed it was one of those things where they had like they had shelved it, but they weren't actually going to make an announcement. It was just one of those where we put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off.
Just hopefully people forget. Well, guess what?
Hope people forgot.
But guess what? They did forget.
Here's the
and
worst
now you're
part
bringing
about
it
it is, so it's going to be a TV show, then they were going to make a movie, and then
fuck
Secret
off.
Invasion, they went ahead and they tied this into it by having being revealed that a Skrull had been impersonating Rhodey for like a long
show
time.
was so fucking bad.
And exactly, that show was so crap. It's now poisoned this show, even worse.
And
yeah, now they're to backtrack or something.
Yeah.
So the original Armor War. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I
was gonna say they ruined what this movie could have been about, because the original Armor Wars was a run in Iron Man back in around the year 2000, I think, and in it basically found out that someone in his company he would keep the Iron Man technology, which was superior, separate from his other Stark technology, right? So someone sold the Iron Man technology to governments and villains around the world, and because it was illegally sold, he couldn't do much about it, and he was told by the government, "You better not do this." So he went around where he invented new Iron Man technology that was even more advanced, like the War Machine armor. That's what it got invented for, and went around and was fighting governments, retrieving all of his armor, including fighting the U.S. government, and he was basically declared a criminal. And now the cover for him was the fact that at the time, how do I put it? He still, it wasn't out that Tony Stark was Iron Man. You know, like he saw that someone else. He had like a bodyguard as Iron Man. But it was a great story of him, breaking old friendships and all that sort of thing to get this technology, which was dangerous, back, and it led to changes to the Iron Man continuity with the creation of the armor of the War Machine armor, the creation of the Super Iron Man suit at the end, and all that sort of stuff. And then they get to this, they ruin it with Secret Invasion, and now they're going to ruin it with this movie. It could have been a great movie about just Iron Man going and get his stolen armor back from criminals. You know what I mean? Instead, I don't know. Every time I see them ruin another storyline, I get more and more frustrated.
I mean, it does say that they saw the backlash to Secret Invasion and are rethinking perhaps bad choices they were going to make.
Right. And so basically, they're like, it's not even going to be considered until after Avengers Secret Wars film opens in 2027. So basically, it's a dead project right now.
Yeah, and if Captain America is looking to be a flop, it probably will never happen.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You can only burn so much large piles of money in the middle of a warehouse before you run out.
Okay, so as
Um,
someone who knows nothing about the comic books, all I see of this is really this is like some cheesy attempt for them to have Gundam or mech suits, and it's horrible. Like,
well,
I know that there's comics and stuff based off of this, and I know that's not the case, but to me, that's just as someone who prefers like Gundam enemies and things like that. Like, I'm like, this is so.
if
This
they
is
did
so
it right,
cheesy.
it would be badass. If they did it right, because the capabilities of these suits and the people and the stories they could tell would be awesome. But they're not. Well, I mean, by 2027, things could have changed. In Hollywood, the whole landscape.
Well, I was
So,
going to say, wasn't part of the plan that after this disaster of a Captain America movie came out, there was noise about we're going to get away from the woke stuff and just start actually
that
worrying
was,
about what makes money?
So
Well, that depends if that also means getting back to good writing, because I don't care if you get away from the woke stuff if you're not putting good writing behind it. I don't even care if you put some of the woke stuff in. If you have good writing in it, I don't care. But it's the core of it is they haven't had good writing, and then on top of that, they've been rushing and pushing too much work onto special effects warehouses that can't keep up and they can't deliver what they need to. So the quality of the special effects have been dropping almost as fast as the quality of the writing. And if they can't fix at least one of those, I don't care what comes up next.
I was going to say, I would sort of put up with terrible CGI if the story was good. Because
Right.
Well, the
Yes,
word-
Journey Eye.
I like
the
good
word-
stories.
the word was, I guess about a year ago now, maybe a year and a half, that Kevin Feige decided to fire all the woke people. And there were some movies like Captain America 4 and one or two others that was still already past the point where they can stop them. Some TV shows are past that point. But once those filter out of the system, like the breaking point was Daredevil, when they filmed a couple episodes woke-wise and just erased them and redid it as like Daredevil season 4, I guess, from the Netflix shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then now the Avengers films that are coming up are certainly not going to be woke. The Russo brothers have clout, and so they're basically I don't know if that's the truth. I'm just saying what was reported that he fired the woke.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, I mean, we know that we didn't get a huge glut of movies for a while, so maybe it really is.
Yeah, they gotta kind of, I think, clean house and get reset and kind of get better movies into the pipe. But
I mean,
no,
James Gunn still had to put up with the Flash and Aquaman and Black Adam, going through the system before he could do anything because they were already too far along to cancel.
Right. They were already too far along. Exactly.
Black Adam.
Squeeka thinks that I'm just going to gloss over the fact that she's a Gundam fan. So that's not something that I would have thought that she would have been into. But you never know.
Hey, anything to make us short people feel tall.
Gundam's
So next
great.
thing we
should
have
talk about.
So next thing we have on
Gundam
the
action figure.
on the thing here is this new teaser for the Alien Earth series, which is basically a spaceship crashes on Earth with xenomorphs on it. How this is before in the timeline, before Ripley and LV-426 and all that, I'm not really sure how they're going to make it work.
Didn't they already do this film? Alien versus
AVP.
Predator.
Yeah, right.
The Requiem.
Alien versus Predator apparently didn't actually happen in the official Alien timeline. And this is coming from, take it all with a grain of salt, because I'm not a big Alien Universe fan. I've only seen a couple of movies. But AVP didn't happen in the actual Alien timeline. It's its own self-contained universe.
Yeah,
This supposedly is supposed to be where Weyland Yutani learns about the xenomorphs and then starts sending people out to try to find them without telling them that that's why they're out there finding. That's why in the original Alien movie, they have this directive that once they find this signal, they have to divert over to investigate it.
Or was this, or just hear me out here, or was Alien versus Predator more of a Predator film than an Alien film?
I look at it as more of a crossover DC Marvel thing when they did those crossover things where Spider-Man fought Hulk.
So
I'm just
Was it more of a versus
Superman.
film?
Alien, the
what
first
film?
A versus. I just wanted to feel
The
on
first
it.
Alien
Oh.
versus Predator could fit in the Alien universe because it's a sort of standalone type one-off thing.
It
But
is Wayland. It is all of that.
but the events of it are so isolated, you could kind of squeeze it in. You know what I mean? But technically, according to the studio deals and all, the two Alien vs Predator movies are separate.
The the issue with, I mean, granted, all we have is this write up, but the issue with this is that if the aliens win, they take over Earth. If the aliens lose, you now have people that know about aliens, and how the heck, unless they're really terrible people, how do they not immediately spread that knowledge everywhere?
Because they wanted to weaponize them. The whole premise of Alien was that the corporation knew they were there. And
Right.
so
I
they
get
wanted
that,
to,
but these are a ragtag group of tactical soldiers, not the people from the company that.
Oh, I can easily rectify that. Wayland Yutani wet work team shows up and eliminates them all at the end of the movie.
yeah.
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 That would,
So I
that
mean,
would do it.
there's a lot of questions here, and again, I've only seen the first two movies, and I only liked the first one. Then a lot of this I've based on what other people have said about how this movie would fit in, but it's going to be weird because it's not really about the aliens being on Earth. It's not the xenomorphs being on Earth. It has to be about one being in still a very kind of like limited environment. So I'm thinking kind of like the Thing. So it's like a remote Wayland Yutani research facility that this thing just happens to land on, and that's how they keep it away from the general public. Because otherwise, this thing would tear through New York.
Well,
And-
Actually, regular like xenomorphs and the way that the chain of reproduction that they have to have is very weak. It's easy to break, super easy. Which is the problem, is they have to go grab somebody, and then they got to have an egg layer. Then the egg's got to attach to their face, and then it's got to pop out of your chest, and you got to be held in stasis while it's happening, and all this kind of stuff. And they don't have projectile weapons. Yeah, they run around real fast and stuff, but they're vulnerable to ballistic weapons.
I mean, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be. This
Yeah.
is going to be more interesting than Aliens. I think it's going to have to be more in tone like the original Alien movie, because it's just it will be like at least.
The write-up says that, okay, so it starts with, if you haven't seen the trailer, it's on a ship, this thing busts out, and and then the ship crashes, and then here's what it says: as members of the crash recover, crew search for survivors in the wreckage and encounter mysterious predatory life forms more
Plural.
terrifying than they could have ever imagined. With the new threats unlocked, the search crew must fight for survival, and what they choose to do with this discovery could change the planet Earth as they know it. So, like Eclectic Goat was referring to, they have this information now. What do they do with it? And as Matt was saying, someone on the team might be like, "Hey, we need to weaponize this and make a bunch of money off of it." Let's see, where's it talk about who's actually on the team here? Okay, so a young woman, Sydney Chandler, and a ragtag group of tactical soldiers make a fateful discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's greatest threat. And so that's basically the synopsis of it.
My prediction is going to be it's not going to be that many xenomorphs. Going to take out all but one, and at the very end, it's basically going to be we all die sort of thing, and then we'll get a prologue image of like a Wayland Yutani group coming upon the wreckage and the remnants of the xenomorph, and that's how they're going to tie it into everything else.
Well, I hope it doesn't have any of that alien covenant worm monster thing, that crap. I want real xenomorph aliens. I don't want any white eels or anything weird. I don't want any black goo coming out of jars turning people into stuff. I just want aliens eating people.
I think this is going to resemble Aliens. It's going to be an action TV show in a science fiction setting, more rather than Alien, which is an actual science fiction movie. Mm-hmm. And so this will basically be a shoot 'em up with an alien. And given that its nature, I'm going to bet they're going to go with the sort of dark, like espionage stuff. And someone on the team is going to betray them, kill almost everyone off, and give the dead alien to Wayland Yutani. I think that.
Oh my God, I can't believe I actually forgot this was a TV show, Matt.
Yeah,
It seems like it would have to be, to me, it seems like this would have to be a movie, because if it's a TV show, you can only get about 6 episodes out of it before you start crossing over into completely unbelievable.
Oh, wait,
how does
this
it
is a
stay out of the
TV
rest of
show?
the worlds?
Yeah.
I
Like
thought this was
a
a
site
movie.
sort of
Yeah.
thing.
It's a TV show.
No, it's
I mean,
Yeah,
not.
because if it goes on for
seasons-
like too many episodes,
Seasons are only 7 or 8 episodes anyway. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
we
you know what
long
they-
but
gone.
even-
now.
If they're
Long
D plus,
gone
they're
is
28
long-
minutes.
You know
Long
what they
gone
could
is
do?
the day of the 24 episode season.
Oh God!
well,
those
even
were-
if it's just like a 6 to 8 episode season, then you pretty much have to stick to one season, because
You know,
then how does something like this stay secret for so long?
Oh,
Stay
they can try
isolated
to
for so
drag
long.
it out. We have
What
a
I
lot
w-
of people in hallways talking.
what I would love to see them do with this show. You guys remember 24 Hour one? It was in real time, and there's a new medical show called The Pit that's in real time. This show is 8
Interesting.
episodes, 8 hours. The Weyland Yutani sends them into the ship. So it's a Weyland Yutani ship that crash lands. They get a tactical team and a scientist go in there, recover what's in there, and it's 8 hours of hell, just real time. I would love
That-
to see that.
That is interesting, Matt. I love your idea. I hate that they're probably not going to do it.
I find I'm torn, because when Alien Romulus started, and I saw that was, I think that might have been the last movie I saw in the theater. Oh no, I saw Nosferatu. But the scene where like they misfire everything and the ship crashes and everything, goes spinning out of control. I had a thought for a minute. I was like, maybe the trailer was a complete mislead. And what's actually going to happen is that this station is going to crash on the mining planet full of face huggers. And we're actually going to end up following a totally different team in this planet that goes like full of face huggers and aliens. And that would have been awesome. Like, it would have been so much better, I thought, than what I think we actually got.
Yeah.
And yet I look at this, which is kind of a similar idea, and I go, no, because it's not contained enough. It's not claustrophobic enough. It messes up the timeline as far as I'm concerned. I just can't see any way that you're going to reasonably make me believe that either that or like you said, we'll have somebody at the end who does decide to weaponize it, in which case you've just given me a protagonist I didn't want to root for.
Well, not every show is about rooting for the protagonist, though.
I mean, I guess.
If
But
they're setting it up
then
for a
then why are
different
they a
show, maybe.
protagonist?
Well, the protagonist is. People can often conflate the term protagonist with hero, and it's not so much hero as the main character driving the plot.
They don't
Um,
have to be a hero, but pro does imply like most noir movies, which I love. The protagonist is usually an asshole and a womanizer and smacks, the woman around at some point, and like they're not nice people, but they're not terrible people either.
Well, I mean, look at Dexter. Dexter's the protagonist in his books and his TV show. Or who's the protagonist in what was the TV show? The Shield? It's a horrible human being, but he's the protagonist.
But they had to keep giving you reasons to root for Vic Mackey. They had to keep giving you reasons to go, well, yeah, he's not great, but
Well, I never rooted for him. I was just watching a good show. I never. Well, The Sopranos. The protagonist of The Sopranos is essentially a mafia don serial killer. I enjoyed the show, but I never rooted for Tony Soprano.
I mean, the Godfather is about a bunch of people who commit organized crime and kill people.
Yeah.
But you still care about them. You still want them to win because they're better than the other families and they're better than the alternative.
I mean, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Almost every character in there is an objectively terrible person.
Eclectic, you may see that way. You have to root for the protagonist. I don't always need a protagonist to root for. So it's, it's just, and the nature of the show is this is a prequel of how this horrible corporation, Weyland Yutani, found out about the aliens and caused all the misery of the movie Alien and Aliens, so to speak.
So here's the question: is anybody interested in watching this show?
No.
I am.
No.
Mildly, but it's definitely very low priority.
What's it on?
Oh, hold on.
It's at the top.
Nah, I already switched to a different.
I think it's on Hulu.
Oh, then never mind then.
Yeah, it's on. Hold on, I got it here. FX's Aliens.
See, I mean,
and
there's
Hulu. FX Networks and Hulu.
There's obviously red flag with the showrunner being, let's see, or no, sorry, Loki season 2 Helmers.
Yeah, the Loki season 2 Helmers. Yeah, F those guys.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's still plenty of red flags here. I'm going to give them a little bit of grace in that maybe they could course correct something. I don't think they're going to get it right, but I'll at least give the.
This is we're talking. This
Wait,
is
I was going to say,
Daredevil.
did we move on to Daredevil?
We did.
Yeah,
Well,
Daredevil,
I brought the screen up while we were still discussing Aliens.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
No,
but I
that's
thought
right.
I was like, wait a minute, are we asking whether or not we're watching Daredevil or whether we're watching?
Oh, sorry.
Well, actually, that is a question. Well, first off, let's go back. Is anybody interested in watching the Aliens thing?
No.
I am.
I mean,
No.
my mind could be changed. Basing it on one article and one very short teaser trailer, I think is unfair. But based on what I've seen so far, probably not.
Well, it's like anything.
If people start watching it and are liking it, I might check it out.
That's how I got into Landman. Everyone was like, "Oh, this show is awesome," and then I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it," and it was. So, but for the new Daredevil, I don't know. After what they did with Kingpin, how much they cucked him in 2 other shows.
I do not trust. I don't. Again. I don't have Disney Plus, so I'm not going to watch it. But I've said this from the beginning. If you think that Disney is going to properly adapt a Frank Miller comic run, you're insane.
So, let me give a clarification on that. The Daredevil, that storyline has already been used in the Netflix Daredevil TV show.
Right, it was.
Yeah. So this show
Season 3.
is supposedly season 4 of that TV show. So those events have already occurred. So what they did, and this was the first example we talked about before, like the original version of the show is going to be some woke garbage that relates to She-Hulk with that Daredevil, but someone realized it was horrible. They fired everyone,
right?
And
like halfway through the first season.
Yeah, and they refilmed it. And I guess someone said, "Let's just do season 4 of the Netflix show," and that's this product. Will it be good? I don't know, but that's what
they already had like 6 or 8 episodes in the can, and they were like, this is garbage, burn it. We're gonna redo it.
Fired everybody.
Right,
fired everybody.
Who here has? I saw the trailer. It looked pretty good.
Haven't seen it.
I don't know if I can play it here.
If you want to play a trailer, go to Twitter, find the Twitter version of the trailer.
Okay. I mean,
just
the guy that's the showrunner did The Punisher, and so that's positive. The Helmers of season 2 of Loki, not a positive.
Well, I mean, season one of the initial was good. Season 2, not as good.
That's a correct statement. It is. It's a factual statement.
The only really bad thing from the Netflix TV shows was
Iron Fist.
No, Defenders. Iron Fist was
and Defenders. I'll give you that one. Yeah.
Iron Fist was miscast. If they would have put a different person in there, it would have been.
No, they messed the story up badly, but it wasn't horrible. Like you could see that there was effort. It's just they messed it up badly. Whereas Defenders was just bad. Just the only good thing in Defenders is the one hallway scene fight. It's the only thing. Watching the whole thing.
Which was really kind of a hallmark of all of these Netflix shows was these small confined fight scenes, which were all really well done. I mean, Daredevil, I liked. Jessica Jones, I liked.
Yes.
Luke Cage was hit and miss.
Yeah.
Iron Fist was mostly a miss, but Defenders was a complete
miss.
Okay,
Iron Fist season 2 was woke garbage. Okay.
Yes. Agreed.
Iron Fist season 1 was just
decent,
but like average. Like they just messed they messed up the Bride of Nine Spiders so badly. And they messed up Dog Soldier #1. All the other heavenly celestial weapons that like the Iron Fist, they just ruined those characters. And I was like, so disappointed, but it was still watchable. It wasn't like
Right.
you
It was
know,
watchable.
you know. Whereas Defenders was garbage. My favorite of all of them was season 1 of Luke Cage. I love that whole that sort of cultural vibe they're going for. They got the Sweet Christmas in.
Right.
Yeah. But,
I mean, I'm one of the few that I know that actively say I liked Jessica Jones. I mean, season 2 was a little off, but season 1 and 3 were both solid.
Season 1 was really good. Season 2 and 3 were okay. So I put it.
So who's excited for this? Anybody?
I'm not watching it, so
I can't say excited. I'll give it a look, but mostly apathetic.
I'll probably give it a look.
His beard, yeah.
Yeah, I might take
I
a peek.
did Shieldwall. I did share the X trailer for Daredevil.
Oh,
with
on
you
X.
On X, yeah.
Yeah, because YouTube has trouble picking up like video from other platforms when you play it.
Okay. Well, I'm just guest hosting. I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, dude. I'm just saying for anyone out there, like on my channel, whenever I play trailers,
there are some good things that I've heard about it. They're cutting out the whole She-Hulk thing. That's not even going to be a plot point.
Yeah. This is nothing to do with that. This is a sequel to the Netflix show.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. And so the consensus is that if it starts out good, then we might go watch it, but nobody's really hyped up for it.
Correct.
Okay. Let's see. This is the mangled Star Wars thing. Let me get the other
Why?
one.
Skip.
This okay, hold on. Is
Skip.
a huge Star Wars fan and as apathetic and as angry as I am about all current Star Wars. This one mildly interests me because it's skipping the whole like after Luke thing and going before. I don't think, let me clarify, I don't think they're going to do it right. It's going to be nowhere as good as the old Republic stories that were told in the video games and comics, but it does mildly interest me as opposed to every other Star Wars project going forward, which interests me absolutely zero.
So this is supposed to take place 25,000 years before the events of the original trilogy.
Yes.
It's going to talk about like the first Force users, and
this is the problem. And this is the problem now with that is because you're going so far back, you get to reshape the universe.
Yeah, right. So it'll always be a woman that did it first. Got it.
They're gonna
I mean,
reshape it.
I really liked Logan. I really liked the first season of House of Cards. I've heard really good things about Ford versus Ferrari.
Very good movie.
But the last time Mangold did a Lucasfilm project was something that they called Indiana Jones, which was not an Indiana Jones.
Wasn't that one of the ones where they just sort of like stamped his name on it though, and they were just like, "You are gonna cast whatever the hell her name is."
Waller Bridge or whatever her name is.
I really cannot. I really cannot think of her as anything other than that annoying bitch. So.
From Fleabag.
I didn't see. I don't pay attention enough to Hollywood to know he had anything to do with that. So, never mind.
He was involved in Dial of Destiny. Yeah, F that guy.
I really thought that was one of those.
For me, go ahead, Goat.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought that was. I had heard that was one of those cases where they like hired him to stick his name on it, but really they didn't let him actually do anything.
No, he was deeply involved in it.
He was
okay.
And as far as Lucasfilm goes, okay, they can announce and they can. I mean, this is typical of Kathleen Kennedy. She'll announce 7 things. How many actually make it to finished product?
So the next thing we're talking about is It prequel series. Ain't Afraid to Kill.
Again, why?
Not
Okay,
interested.
here's my
Well,
take.
okay, well,
I didn't like any of the It movies. I thought that they were not that good. And the second one, where they were adults, was just trash. I'm sad I even saw it. Um,
I
so
didn't mind it. I did not mind the first It. The second
yeah, the
one
first
was
one's all right.
the second one
I-
was unwatchable.
I wanted to like this until they said we're going to do 3 seasons and it's going to keep going back in time. There's absolutely no way to do that unless you just end up with like a dead cast at the end of every season, in which case, like, I don't care. I know how it's going to end. And at
So-
least with one season, it could be interesting. But when you keep going back and back and back, it's just going to be. I mean, one of the reasons that Stephen King gets so much attention, and like movies like Pitch Black got so much attention, is that killing kids should be like a drastic, terrible thing. And having 3 seasons of it is just going to make people numb.
So the premise is the story starts in 1962 in a period before Pennywise goes into a 27-year hibernation cycle and reemerge in 1989. So each season is supposed to go back another like hibernation cycle. This hope is for 3 seasons, which would mean the second season would take place in 1935 and the third in 1908.
Oh,
I mean,
wow. Sign me up.
yeah,
well, so you got a couple things just so people understand. Almost all of Stephen King's books occur in the same multiverse, right?
Mhm.
And like there's a backstory to Derry. Spoilers for the book. So after the spider lost the cosmic battle and was almost killed, its remnant crashed on Earth and hid and created Derry as a feeding ground to try to keep alive, right? So that being said, nothing interesting happened until the Losers Club basically caused his final death. And he just kept waking up, eating some people, and going back to sleep for the couple hundred years he was there.
Yeah.
And, this would have been interesting if they were. But now here's the thing: they could have done that was interesting with this, right? Because the spider was present on the Earth. That's one of the things that warped New England in Stephen King's world, and all these weird, freaky things happened up there. So they could have been showing the effects of Pennywise being there, like showing stuff happening all around. You know what I mean? That might have been interesting. I'm watching what is it called? The Outsider, which is a Stephen King adaptation from a couple of years ago. They only did 1 season. It was pretty good, and again, it's the same type of effect of weird stuff happens on Stephen King's Earth all the time. You know what I mean? And that could have been interesting. Just showing Pennywise, like you were saying, more of the previous killings, because he goes to sleep. You know what I mean? You know what happens in the future, and none of this alters that. I don't see the point of this.
And he never gets seriously hurt because it says so repeatedly in both the movie and the.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he's so pissed off about these kids, is that he's never been damaged before. So,
Well-
unless they completely undo that, none of these cast members in these 3 seasons are going to do anything impactful at all.
right.
Yeah, I
and,
mean-
and it says right here that Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise is scheduled to last throughout the entire run of the show, all 3, however many seasons.
Yeah, so
But that structure means any of the characters you see could be killed without impacting subsequent seasons, I guess. But here's the theme that I'm getting from being on the show with Eclectic Goat tonight: is she does not like characters that don't have stakes.
Like vampires.
Right.
Well, but like we were saying, what is like I could see maybe doing one prequel season where maybe when Pennywise first crashed and took out the local American Indians or something like that,
Yeah.
or but like the ending of the story, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
A prequel should tell you what happened to get there, but this is the same thing over and over again. Like nothing those previous killing periods happened in any way would alter the events that led to Pennywise's final death. Well, his almost final death,
And Pennywise is going to get older as he goes back in time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's yeah. I don't know. I don't know. There might be some people that are interested. It could make for some interesting writing. Like if you had recurring characters from like 1903 that somehow are alive in 89 or whatever, and they're like, "Let me tell you about it." Or,
Well, but see, the thing
you
is,
know,
we obviously those who read the book, plus we've seen both versions of the movie, right?
Mhm.
Nothing that happens in the past, other than when the librarian character looks up the information, helps them. In other words, like if they like if he had found out when the killings happened, in 1963, something happened and it lets them. I mean, I found these guys. They left a cryptic note and that led them to the cave or something. Maybe that would be interesting. But none of what happens in the past is going to change the events of it or cause the events of it to occur. It's just, you know,
Yeah, I mean, or if there'd been something like, there was a massive fire in, 1950 something, or, I don't know, go back a couple of cycles, and all of a sudden the cycle was broken and Pennywise slept for, an extra long
yeah,
time. It might be
yeah.
interesting to find out like what that was, but I just there's so much money being wasted on so many things that don't it's not necessarily that yes, I like characters to have a purpose, but I also hate waste. And there is so much waste in Hollywood right now, just
Well,
throwing money at things that like just don't matter.
to be honest, it's always been that way. We just know more about it now because of all the social media.
Well, just like Goat was saying, if you're going to go back, like let's say you went back to 1908, okay, fine, and really this is a one-off because if this is in the same universe as the It and It 2 films, we know how this story ends. So maybe just show the origin, and that's all you need. You don't need, as far as the waste goes, of the following 2 cycles, because we all know what's going to happen.
I mean, some of the best shows have been shows that are supposed to be just one season, like The Penguin. The Penguin is
Mhm.
supposed to be a one season thing. It was great. If you want to do this, do one season of an It prequel and call it a day. I would totally get behind that. It's the
Beard, you're
3
muted.
seasons back in time.
Beard, you're muted.
All right, I can't comment on it specifically because I've never seen any of the movies. Not even the old who is it? Tim Curry. I've never
Tim
seen
Curry?
any of them. Yeah.
Oh, you poor thing.
But I want to say I do agree that sometimes a season is what you need. And I came to this realization way back in the day, younger, watching Cowboy Bebop on Adult Swim. I wanted that show to go on and on and on and on. But then I realized a couple years after that, I was like, no, sometimes what brings value to a story is that it has an ending.
mhm.
Yeah.
Such a
That's
good
like
series, too.
it's
Such
like
a good
Babylon,
series.
right? Like Babylon
Also,
5 that
another
had an arc
caveat to that.
already pre-written.
Yeah. And
Another caveat to that, Beard, is it's better to not have too much of if you have something good, it's better to keep that instead of having too much and it's not good anymore.
It's better to want more than
Right.
regret having it. What you have, regret having what you got.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
Thanks, Matt.
Well, let's talk about antibiotics. Then you want more, but it's like.
Well, I agree with the waste comment, and I think part
Right.
of the
Or-
waste that you
or-
see is
Or cocaine.
Yeah.
Then you want more of that, too. I'm just saying.
I
So
always
I've heard.
But I think part of that waste is exactly that. They're rehashing so many older things, so much that there's no new stories. And people are like, we've been there, we've done that. Not
Well,
just
I
with
got-
the endings or any of that, just the whole franchise. Make something new.
Here's
They
something you
came out
haven't
with
seen
different
before.
universes and stuff.
Here's something you haven't seen before. Ta-da! A male actor nominated for Best Actress.
Yeah.
So,
Here's
Women,
me not caring.
Men are apparently better at everything that women do, including
Well,
they
being
are.
women.
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
I think the age of that being in vogue might be starting to be over. Anyway,
I
But-
wish we had the Austin Powers clip. It's
It's
a
a-
man, man.
it's
That's
a
not your
man.
mom. It's a man, baby.
okay. So, any quick thoughts on this?
Who
My
cares?
my only opinion on this is I really don't care about anyone getting nominated for anything because it's all Hollywood playing end games.
Yeah.
So because they choose somebody who is trans or not doesn't matter any more to me than them choosing somebody who's biological or not. Because honestly, I'm so jaded against all of that.
And
all these award shows suck now.
I think the era of the movie star has long passed. The era of the
I agree.
movie star, because there was something mysterious. There was something separating, and now through social media and everything, they're right up. We can know what they're doing when they go to Costco, and I really don't care. And I don't care about their opinions. I don't care about them. I don't care about anything about them.
So
I
mean,
this is a
it
full
should
list
be
of nominees for
renamed.
the Oscars. It's a bunch of words that we don't care about because it's going to be a bunch
Well,
of
and
Should
you
be,
have- you've got-
renamed the Ego Awards.
Yeah,
unless
I mean,
Hey, you leave Left Eye alone. He's a wonderful human being.
that's right.
No,
Well-
Left Eye is great.
To
He's
kind of
the best
paraphrase
Okay,
a little
let me-
bit
let me-
of what to paraphrase a little bit of what Gord King was saying on Jacob's show when we were looking at Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Is like how Hugo Weaving in all his roles, and especially that role that he played that movie, has never like been awarded anything. I'm not even sure he's really actually been nominated for anything. It's just that kind of proves to you that there's so much inside baseball with this, that how can the common person care unless they still have that kind of like forgive any of my clear thinking like British people out there, this sort of like holding the royals above themselves, because
He's
Hollywood
Australian.
is American royals. So people look at them as like, oh, what are they doing? What are they wearing? Who are they dating? Did they win this? Did they do that? Did that? It's like none of that matters to your life. It's all inside. Like everything is them manipulating the system to basically praise themselves. So
unless Ricky Gervais is running the Oscars, I do not care.
Yes,
Right.
yes, thank you.
Let me amend my statement from before. I do find the technical awards, some of these award shows, interesting. Cinematography, score,
Okay.
that sort of stuff. But
they
That's
skip
about
over
it.
those.
After the show.
yeah,
Yeah, they just skim those. Nobody cares about the actual
Right,
work.
yeah.
They just
right,
care
right.
about the people that made millions.
Yep.
So here's the list. It's Honora, The Brutalist, The Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, which is the one that I think has the trans person and transgender, whatever.
The one that managed to make like all of Mexico angry.
Yeah, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. I've heard of The Substance. I've heard of The Wicked. I've seen Dune Part 2. I don't know any of these other movies. I don't know what they are, what they.
I've heard of 2. I've seen 0.
Right.
I have heard of Amelia Perez mainly because it made all of Mexico really angry.
I mean,
I've heard of most of them.
But here's the thing, and with a lot of these films, and this has become the trope as these award shows are celebrating what Hollywood themselves like, because Hollywood and the studios and the actors hate blockbuster films. They hate them. They absolutely detest them, but they need them because, well, for a while they were the ones who would fund these little artsy projects that they would do. So in their own ego, they start, well, we want to celebrate what we think is art, not what the masses like, because these rubes like superhero films, and for the most part, studios hate superhero films.
Oh, I spaced. A Complete Unknown is the Bob Dylan movie. That is actually supposed to have been pretty good. I did not watch it because I don't like biopics, but
Yeah, I'm not a big biopic fan. I was just looking at like the actresses and actors in supporting roles and lead roles and stuff. Some of them are pretty decent actors, well-known names. Sebastian Stan, okay. Ralph Fiennes for lead actor in a leading role. So imagine if Sebastian Stan wins this. You know, Adrian Brody, I think he's a pretty decent
Fine
actor. Yeah, Ralph
Fine actor.
Fiennes. Yep. Not really sure who Coleman Domingo is. Demi Moore Don't know who the rest of these are. Kieran Culkin, a real pain. I mean, that'd be a big win for him. Edward Norton, that's up his alley. Guy Pearce, Jeremy Strong, those are all decent actors.
I mean, the Brutalist actually, I just looked it up. It actually looks like kind of an interesting movie, and I never heard of it. I would have taken some of these movies I've never heard of over the really terrible movies we got.
Right.
that got stuck in my theater for.
Well, I'm
8
hearing
weeks.
that Wicked was actually good. A lot of people are saying they liked it, despite the lead people going out and run their mouth on media.
I heard that too, and that's great, but it's sort of like Barbie. There were people that liked it. It was not my cup of tea. Wicked is not my cup of tea.
I thought I was going to dislike Barbie until Ken found masculinity and brought it back. and he was the best part of the whole movie.
The movie, after absolute garbage.
He was. Yeah, I know it's garbage, but he's the best part of that garbage.
The best Barbie film of all time. Legally Blonde.
If people keep saying that Ken is the best part of the movie, I fear that they're gonna do what they did with Joker and be like, no, you liked that movie wrong, so now we're gonna make another movie crapping all over the parts you liked.
I take it back. Magic Earring Ken was the best part of that movie. Just because one of my relatives had one, and I remember me and my brother, we put it in a slingshot and shot it super far away.
No, what they're going to do is make a 3-series Netflix show about Magic Earring Ken now.
Please
Probably.
Stop.
So our next story real quick is White House is to allow seats for new media in briefing room. So basically, if you're a big name streamer and you put your hat in the ring, you can actually get a seat in there.
Oh God!
Access, yeah.
I have mixed feelings about this.
When she announced this, you guys got to go look for the Views reaction or MSNBC. They lost their minds.
I'm sure they hate this.
Here's the thing, though. They're not going to open up 1,000 seats to bring in just any random streamer. But at the same time, that's not just streamers. It's people who run their own independent websites. That factors in. There's going to be a lot of factors there. But also, this is the same as any kind of
vetted. They're not going to be just some Yahoo off YouTube.
Yeah, Gary.
At the same time, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you've got a group of people who say we're the professionals and the best at what we do, and this Yahoo wants to come in and try to show us up, let the Yahoo in and publicly shame them if they've completely failed at their job. Now, if they're actually good at their job, they're going to try. They're going to find some footing. Now, maybe people are still going to try to shame them one way or the other. That's just how the game is played. But bring some other people in. If they're just bad at their job, it's going to be public. It's White House press stuff. People are going to see if they're just bad and petty, and then they just swap them out for somebody else.
I mean, most media is bad and petty, but
I was going to say
I'm
that.
not saying
some of
this.
these outlets have been getting away for it.
And
I'm not saying that they're not.
But see, my fear is that once this gets normalized, even if you absolutely trust this administration completely, which I don't, because I don't trust any politicians.
No, me neither.
Then this is really just how do they pick it? This is an excellent way to just pick the people that are gonna pad things with what you want what you want people to hear.
Right.
Well, right. And for those of us who just want to see the world burn, I just want to see him put Alex Jones in there and watch the left go completely nuclear.
Hell, let's skip Alex Jones. Let's go with Sam Hyde.
That'll make want to hear him go off. The frogs. We need to hear about the frogs. Why are they gay?
Okay, well, I have to defend Alex Jones. He can and does have a serious side. Okay.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we joke all the time, but he actually is all the stuff with aliens and all that, and whatever.
And
that
the
was stuff
Potbelly goblins.
Yeah, that was all stuff that he did to make money. Basically, his original beef was small government overreach of power. And so I remember the first 20 videos I ever saw back in the 90s was him at airports, like, watching people be frisked, like, for no reason. And, that's when that crap started. Even before 9/11, they're making the power play,
Well,
Or
but
how
the
about
thing
this?
is that
Or how about this? Front row center. You got Alex Jones and Joe Rogan.
Oh, God.
I mean, the thing is that if you have valid issues and then you do a whole lot of crazy shit to make money, what you do is make those valid issues look like a joke.
Exactly. I think honestly, I think what they want to do is they want to recognize that people on other platforms besides network TV and newspaper are now burgeoning and have so many people watching them. They have a much greater reach. So
Well-
if you take somebody that is a competent journalist, but let's say they might have a not a website, but like a YouTube channel or something like that isn't part of the big conglomerates, you can put them in that spot and give them a shot at reach. And that because of I think they're doing this because of how when Trump went on like Rogan and some of the other shows, the reach that gave him, right? And he was able to sit there and do like 3-hour interviews and just talk, which he's good at. And people were like, oh, okay. So he sees that as how they won the election, basically. And so now they want to use that to kind of springboard their message to the same kind of people. And
I'll believe that. I'll believe it when I see critical drinker there.
At the
Well, here's the thing, okay?
I mean, he's not American, and that would be quite the plane flight for him.
Yeah. So there are certain people who are in social media circles. Tim Pool, Jan from the Quartering, the podcast. What was it called? There's a couple of podcasts as well. They're getting more views and then almost all like legacy news organizations now.
Exactly. My point is they want to be able to leverage those people to get more of like the press briefing word out, and by doing it directly through the White House press room, and it's not. I mean, they can filter it later, but it's not immediately filtered like it might be on a network show or something. Where
some of these bigger podcasts, they have staffs now. They have field reporters, like, so you can see Tim Pool sending someone to the White House. Right. Jennifer the Quartering has a big staff now. These people, they could send someone to use that credential, and I mean, like, so for example, when that plane went down, the plane helicopter crash, well, the first place I went to look was Twitter to see the real time reporting from the AP, from see, and just watch it unfold. And then eventually I'll go to some of the bigger sites and see like some of those summary articles or whatever. But I'm not going to like, CNN and waiting for them to deign to report to me anymore. I'm going someplace where I get an immediate response. I get initial information, and I'm going to reserve judgment on everything, obviously, because you have to reserve judgment to get a full context. But like all this news now, even the wildfires, I'm sure the mainstream media had their narrative they wanted to push, and it didn't work because of social media.
Let's end Beard.
I'll do it. I'll go.
If I've learned anything since like the late 90s is that when cable really got big, is that if you really want the real story, you have to watch like 4 or 5 different channels to kind of filter out what's actually happening, because they will always, whether they intend to or not, kind of, tilt the story to kind of meet their ideas. And also with the new click-through rate and watch stuff, people since they want you to click on their thing, they want you to watch their show, so they put like breaking news. It's breaking news every time, like every single thing is a breaking news now, when that used to be rare. If you saw that on TV, it meant stop what you were doing and watch, back in like the Cronkite days and stuff. But now it's just plastered everywhere.
They used to do that, but they also used to, separate Entertainment Tonight from the actual news. And nowadays, news is like Hollywood news is considered just as big a deal as large chunks of the country burning down.
Right, exactly. Okay, so real quick before we before we end the show tonight. So we have this look ahead, 31 of the most anticipated movies of 2025. It's going to scroll through it really quick.
28 years later is not on this list.
Heard that was bad.
It's not? Okay. And so I take it that's a movie that you're interested in seeing.
And it's the movie everyone I know is interested in seeing. So
Okay.
the fact that it's not on this list is crazy.
Well, yeah.
It's the
I don't know.
only one I know that's coming out this year that I want to look.
Right.
I don't know
right.
any other movie coming out.
Okay, so number 2
I
is
have to watch
Back
the
in
first one
Action.
first.
Pass on that. I don't care.
We'll watch them.
Yeah,
Cordially
that's the only
invited.
Isn't it pass?
I don't like Will Ferrell and I don't like rom-coms.
Bleh, thank you.
Okay.
Goat, I like you.
Captain
Will
America
Ferrell is
Saving
only
the
good
World,
in
we have
Stranger Than
that.
Fiction.
Oh, here we
He's
go.
only good.
Megamind. I liked him in Megamind. That is the
Old
only thing I
school.
know.
No, thank you.
Oh, Megamind
school,
was
that's it.
great.
Another
Yeah.
sequel. No thanks.
Yeah, Bridget Jones, don't care.
Mad About the Boy. Really? Oh, okay. The Gorge.
Maybe.
That looks interesting.
Miles Teller and Anna Taylor-Joy.
Ooh, Anya. Ooh, it's Anya
let's see.
Taylor-Joy though.
Film
That's why
Fall is
Joker
good.
wants
I
to
don't-
watch.
What?
I don't know if
That's
it's
who
a
that
horror
is?
or an action or what, but I
It-
mean,
the
at
film
least it
fall
looks
is-
different.
highly
Supposedly a
trained
science
officers
fiction film. I
Become
don't know what
close
it's
after
about.
being sent to protect opposite sides of a mysterious gorge. I don't know. The premise sounds kind of weird.
But at
Supposedly
least it's
Anya
different. I'm
Taylor-Joy.
so tired. I am so tired of the same thing over and over again. At least it sounds different.
The
It's
gorge.
like this legend.
The gorge
this-
is an entrance to hell.
This legend of Ochi, or however the heck you say it, like it's just gonna be like the same as 40,000 other
Cute little things.
Pixar
Yeah, it's a
cute
toy.
movie
Toy.
things.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a toys
Yeah, it's a toy.
vehicle. Sinners. Okay, so this is supposed to be
I'm not interested.
unite the fourth time in a horror film. Two
Sinners,
brothers
it's
battling
really
sinister
about-
forces in the Jim Crow South. Ooh, that's going to be great.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
I like horror movies. I will probably at least see how it rates.
Yeah. The
So this
Electric
movie
State.
is apparently based on a book. I have not read the book, but all of the ratings I have seen for it say the book is slow and beautiful and thoughtful, and now we have an action movie with Chris Pratt.
It's set in the 90s, and they're probably going to screw it up. This doesn't look 90s at all to me. And maybe her hair, but I mean, it's good to see Ki-Hu Kwan and stuff, like he made his comeback.
Yeah, it's nice to see him back in.
Yeah, yeah.
It did make me want to read the book, so there is that.
More white in theaters.
But it's
No.
not
I mean,
Yeah.
you mean Lord Farquaad.
The only people looking forward to
Right,
this
again.
movie are people with YouTube channels that want to make money.
Yes, exactly. They're going to make loads of money off of that.
They're gonna buy
The
cars.
Minecraft movie. Yeah,
Same
pass.
thing.
Same-
my
same
god!
thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Who has dirt on what's his face? Can't even remember his name. Aquaman to make him
Oh.
be in this.
Just the,
Momoa.
the
Paycheck.
outfits they're wearing and the coloration.
It's just a paycheck, Beard.
Yeah,
Here
they
it
have
is.
enough
This is
enough
just a
zeros
paycheck.
behind it. People will do anything for enough zeros.
Mickey
Ugh.
17.
Robert Downey Jr. has
Yes,
proved
I want
that.
to see that one.
Yeah,
That looks fun.
This
So
has an interesting premise.
it is. I was hoping it wouldn't be a comedy, but then I watched the preview and it's a comedy. And the
Wow.
fact that normally you have to condense books in order to get them to be a movie, but they apparently, the book is called Mickey 7, so they killed him off another 10 times and just added that into the movie for, I don't know, effect.
Oh, that sounds great. No.
Nope.
cool.
Yeah, don't
Nope.
care.
Nope.
Okay. A big, bold, beautiful
care.
journey.
Don't care.
They're beautiful. I'll say that much. They're beautiful people.
Well, I mean, it's probably a
They're-
typical rom-com. I mean,
Yeah, too many of these rom-coms. I don't like rom-coms.
That's-
Make up.
Doesn't
go
sound
Just,
like-
like a
they go on an
comedy.
emotional journey that ties them together. Yeah, pass.
Boobs.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
I'll see this because
Yeah,
I'll see this
I'll see
because
that one. Yeah.
because I saw part one. I'm mildly interested to see how this.
I believe
the
this is
story
the
is.
last
Yeah,
ever
me too.
Mission Impossible film with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's also going to end up being a people want to make money on their YouTube channels because
Probably.
part one was not a good setup.
That's
Yeah, we'll see how that
Ballerina,
goes.
Ballerina, I do kind of want to see.
I've never seen John Wick, so but it's got Anna de Armas in it, who is lovely eye candy. So
Yeah, and this is being done by the people who did the John Wick movies. So
And John Wick is going to be in it as like
Yeah.
I don't know, handoff, or he's just in there.
meaning
and kinda
it's
get
not
something going or whatever.
it's not like that TV show they did, which wasn't even loosely based on John Wick type.
oh,
of,
the
you know.
Continental.
No, it's based on the guy that runs the continent. I've forgotten his name.
Winston.
Winston. Yeah, there we go.
What I really want to see is, because she's called the ballerina, I want to see her doing stuff that's not like, I'm going to arm wrestle a 300-pound dude and beat him down. I want her moving around and like stabbing guys and doing lethal things, but it's because she's graceful and they can't touch her, not because she's going toe to toe with them.
I'm trying to remember from the movies. Weren't they supposed to be more spies than anything else?
No.
Like this is like assassins. They're supposed to be more
right.
like
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
like they don't go toe to toe. They're like sneak in the back door kind of people.
Well, no, they fight.
Phrasing.
Squeeka, don't get excited.
Ilio. I don't know much about this.
No.
Not interested.
Okay. How to Train Your Dragon? Yeah,
Nope.
pass.
No,
No.
you could
Why
put
are you
out
going to ruin movies that are almost perfect?
you could put out
Yeah.
the best live action movie ever, and I will not watch it because
And
at
then
this
race swap
point I
somebody.
just have a automatic. It's like the principle of the thing. I just will not watch a live action remake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trigger your
F1.
gag reflex.
That looks
Yeah.
good. That looks interesting.
Oh, it's interesting.
It's a F1 racing.
Jurassic
Nope.
World. Yeah,
Nope.
no for me. All the except for the first Jurassic movie, all of them sucked.
Yes.
Superman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll see Superman.
I'll check it out.
All right. Fantastic Four: The First Steps in Theaters.
I may see that.
Not interested.
Again.
People keep talking about superhero fatigue. I have Pedro Pascal fatigue. I don't want to see
Agreed.
anything he's in. I actively
Yeah,
just
me
want to avoid movies he's in.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I will say this though. I think and
Don't care.
if this is done in the Marvel way, they're going to make Sue Storm the leader of the team, and that is a great casting though. Vanessa Kirby is a great casting for Sue Storm.
Okay. What about Freakier Friday?
No.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
No.
Tron Ares. I
Nope.
thought the second Tron movie was garbage. The original is the only one that's good.
I don't hate the second one as
I'm
much
with
as
you there.
other people do.
Second
I
one wasn't
don't say it's a fantastic movie, but I'm kind of interested. I don't think it's be great.
I will.
but I'm
I will
interested.
watch the third one because even though
Too.
I love the first one, did not like the second one, but I like the universe, so I will give the third one a shot.
Okay.
Agreed. That's yeah.
The Black Phone 2. I have never seen the Black
The
Phone.
Black Phone is
It's an odd film. It's
It's
odd.
odd. It's one of those horror movies where if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. I liked the first one. I was surprised I liked the first one. So I will watch the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one is on my list. I hear
Pass.
great things, and I suspect I will probably watch the second one too.
All right. Predator Badlands.
Pass.
Nope.
Well, if this was like
Pass.
Prey, I'll pass on this.
I didn't
yeah.
know it. I didn't even know it was
Yep.
a thing.
100-pound girl goes up against Predator. Pass.
Yeah, pass.
And
okay.
she looks more like Barbie than friggin'
Margot
Barbie
Robbie.
did.
Yeah. She was good in Super 8. I liked her in that.
Nope.
Nope.
Nah, didn't watch the first one.
Who's coming for Squeeka?
Squeeka.
That's right.
Sorry, guys, I'll
Squeaka?
be right back. I gotta run.
They just drove by my house.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say
Uh,
nobody else better come speak.
Okay. Wicked for
Hell.
Good. The Wicked Part 2. So apparently the Wicked movie was only like the first half.
Oh joy.
So
Nope.
Zootopia
Yeah.
2, I actually no, you're not interested in it? Zootopia
Nah.
2?
I never
wasn't
even saw
crazy.
the first one.
Nope.
Didn't
I-
You
care.
didn't like the first one?
I
Yeah,
did. I
it's
wasn't
first
crazy
there.
about it.
Oh.
It was.
thought
It
it
was.
was alright.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I certainly wasn't. You couldn't pay me to watch it a second time. I got more things to do with
But
my time.
if they Incredibles 2 this, I will be pissed because Incredibles 2 was garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't
Nope.
it wasn't hot garbage. It just
Pass.
kind of sucked.
Nope.
Avatar, Ash and Fire. Yeah, Ash
He's
and Fire
gotta
is
leave
what need
people
to
I've
happen.
never seen any Avatar.
Thank you. Likewise.
Marty Supreme.
I
No.
don't know what the
It's about like some kind of like table.
So
I would rather watch the bad live action Shyamalan Lama Ding Dong Avatar film than any of those other Avatar films.
Wow, you went there. Holy
So-
cow.
So that movie confuses me. Okay, the Bob Dylan biopic did great because everyone knows who Bob Dylan is. But like, how many people know a ping pong player that they turned around and made a movie out of?
This is like they're like, oh, the
Okay,
critics will love it.
here's the
Give me an
thing.
Oscar.
If it's a ping pong player, they're not
They
making it
should've
for the
made it.
American audience. They're making it for Asia.
Okay.
They should have
I
Tell
mean,
me
it
I'm
is gonna
wrong.
be
Don't
based
laugh.
on
Tell me
on
I'm
a real
wrong.
person
No.
that-
I'm not. I'm
Forrest-
not saying you're
Forrest
not
Gump.
wrong. I don't know anything about it. I literally did
You're
not
wrong.
understand why.
Cindy
They should
Sweeney,
make
boobs,
a Forrest
yes.
Gump ping pong movie.
The Housemaid.
Cindy Sweeney, boobs, yes.
Did anybody see the movie that she was in, the horror movie
Yes.
where she's a nun?
No.
How was it? I never got
It
around
was
to watching.
okay. I
It was
give a
only-
6 out of 10.
It was in my theater for a grand total of a week, and I couldn't get there.
It was.
So that's
I give
it
it a
for
6 out of 10.
for the movies. All right. Well, that's our show for tonight, everybody. Thanks for being on. Thanks to our guest, the Eclectic Goat.
Thank you for having me.
Squeeka M, who's kind of like a quasi-normal person on the panel now, sort of, I guess. But she comes and goes. But
Too many
She's
jokes.
she's a normal mouse.
yes.
She
jokes.
ebbs like the tide.
I'm not responsible for her goings.
Heyo.
Heyo. So let me ask you real quick, the Eclectic Goat. How do you like to be referred to? The goat, eclectic, goat,
EG.
eclectic goat,
I'm
TEG?
I was
Egg.
going to say I'm not terribly fussy. I have been called the goat or goatie tends to be the two most common, I think, at this point.
Okay. Well,
So- In the chat, they'll usually do TEG.
okay. Well,
Can I call you Clecty?
Eclectic.
Sure.
She's
Wait,
gonna
would you give
start
you like
calling you-
a mad
I call
Nazi,
Jamalama, so it's
Yeah.
only fair.
Okay.
All right. So speaking of that goat, let's start with you. What do you got going on coming up on your channel? and things?
Just before I got here, I finally, after it being 2 months late, finished my Green Mile hashtag the book is better video. So that will get loaded tonight and posted tomorrow.
Okay.
I now have to stop and remember what my dates are here. On the 3rd, I have the second of my indie author interviews with Michael Rose, also known on the internet as Farv. And on the Wednesdays, I have Slice and Dice, where we sit around and eat pizza and talk about tabletop games that nobody's ever heard of.
Really?
Oh,
Awesome.
I bet I've heard
Okay.
of them.
And then we will also.
I get
on
it. Slice. I got nice. I like that. It's a good name.
The second and fourth Monday of every month, I'm going to be starting a show called Shows You've Never Seen, where I take a bunch of people who are far too young to have originally watched 90s and early 2000s television and have them watch shows they've never seen so they can see what
Wow.
real TV is actually, good.
Right.
If
Okay.
you want an old person, like really old, like 180 something, I have not watched a lot of any
It's
TV
true.
or movies. So
I think we're going to start with. I think we're
Here
going to
too.
start with Carnival because
no
a
idea.
lot
what
of-
it is.
well, even a lot of like older people missed it. It was the HBO show that actually got them to greenlight Game of Thrones.
Hmm.
It was one of the largest casts originally
that,
to ever be on a show, and it's insane. It is so weird. If you are not on drugs, you will feel like you were.
Oh, then it'd be
Um,
perfect because I am.
so-
I mean, no,
So
no.
I thought I'd
All
so I
right.
thought I'd
What
start
kind of
there.
drugs though? What
Was
kind
it
of
one
drugs
or
are we
two
talking?
seasons?
Yes, it
Beard-
depends on
beard
which
drugs.
there were 2 seasons, but we're probably only going to do the first one.
Okay.
I'm probably going to do the first season of like every show we do.
I think I watched the first season and didn't know there was a second season until like the last year or two.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So yeah, everybody, in the description for this stream later video is everybody's links. So please go to Eclectic Goat, check out her stuff, and we invite you to like and subscribe for her.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, give her the support that she deserves. Next up, we got Squeeka Mouse. What do you got coming up?
Well, Tuesdays I hang out with Pop. I got Beard tonight. We're doing 7 Days to Die. But and then Tuesdays I hang out with Pops on his channel and watch movies. This Tuesday we're doing Back to the Future. I'm so excited. I haven't seen it. I'm so excited to watch it.
You will love it.
You haven't seen Back to the Future?
I have not seen Back to the Future, nor Ferris Bueller's Day Off, nor there's a whole.
Oh
bunch.
God, no. I have trauma around Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Don't go.
Yeah, which means you must watch it, Squeeka. It's a must watch.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is overrated.
So yeah,
that's hot though.
Yeah.
Pretty much it. I kind of just hang out when people tell me to. If I'm sent a link, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll show up.
All right.
Thanks.
So
me.
I don't think Squeeka has a channel really.
I have 85 subscribers. What are you talking about?
Okay, she has more subscribers than me, and I actually have stuff on my channel.
Yeah, I got no content.
That is kind of funny.
That's kind of hilarious.
It is. Well, all right. What am I doing here? Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Squeeka. That's awesome. Matt, let's go to you next. It's good, sir. What do you got going on?
Wednesday night is overbooked with Joker Voice, wrestling show, Left Eye Ego, and I'm saying the two guys they know.
Okay.
That's on Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Joker's channel. We talk about wrestling and stuff like that. Obviously, here Roman's channel. I think what next week is Life Force.
Life Force, yes.
By the way, for those who don't watch it, there is a director's cut of it, which is a better movie. So if you can find it.
Thank you for that tip.
There will be a remake with Sydney Sweeney.
I think the actress in Life Force looks better than Sydney Sweeney. So I'll say that much. Yeah, but that being said, well, I've seen her in other stuff. That being said, if anyone can't get the director's cut, let me know and I can help you get it. What else? Someone said Ferris Bueller. I'm trying to remember did Ferris Bueller have a TV show too, or did just?
He might have, but I never saw it.
Well, I remember.
I think there was a short-lived TV show.
Yeah,
yes,
I know the Parker Lewis TV show was really good, but I'm trying to remember if I want to say I like the Ferris Bueller TV show better than the movie if it existed. Okay. Anywho, what else I got going on? I will try to get my little Friday 1 hour drive show going again. It's been tough little. Getting over the medical stuff. I should probably do a live stream where I take the patient satisfaction survey from the Hellhole Bay Medical Center and fill it out live, whatever.
Fill it out live, yeah.
So I will start trying to do at least one video a week, even if it's a short video. It's just tough. Regaining the ability to sit at my desk is the tough part, but that's what I got going on. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for being on, Matt, and sticking with us for the whole show.
Right.
Yeah. I'm literally standing up with my walker now, so I am gonna drop.
Okay.
I have to lay down. I have to.
Right.
No problem, man. I just wanted to say it's great to have you back on the show.
Definitely.
And,
thank you.
All your inputs and everything. And eventually, I have this in my head. I want to do a let Matt talk as long as he wants about how bad the Speed Force is show.
Oh, God. I might be back in the hospital if I did that.
Yeah, I know.
Or let him talk about how great Naruto is. It might be
I could get I could do a whole show. Like I can probably do a 10-hour show about that.
I am not shocked about that at all.
Exactly.
Naruto is my second favorite thing after
So have a good one, Matt. Go rest up your back.
Yeah, I'm dropping, guys. I'll talk to you all.
Take care, Matt.
Hey, thanks.
Nice to meet you, by the way, Goat.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
Bye.
All right, Jacob. Go ahead, Goat. You can.
Yes, I was going to say all these people I've finally gotten to meet after watching you guys for ages. So.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. It's great to have you on here. Jacob, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, Tuesday on my show we'll be going over X-Files season 2 episodes 3 and 4, Blood, and one of my personal favorites is Sleepless. Yeah,
Same.
We'll be going over those two.
Is that the one where the dudes get the thing where they don't have to sleep no more?
Right.
Yeah, I have to find out who's on his cast so I know who to kneecap so that I can take their spot.
I remember seeing reruns of that while I was working, and I was like, man, you know how cool it would be to not have to sleep again. So anyway, sorry. What else you got going on?
Well, also, my Tuesday will be starting at 6 p.m. because I'll be on Inside the Booth, and we'll be talking the good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right,
and
awesome.
then I will be here next week.
Good deal. Yeah, next week we're doing the Life Force movie. Yeah, boobies. Anyway, thanks for being on, Jacob. It's always great to have you here. Beard, what do you got coming up, good sir?
Let's see. Next appear in a few minutes, 15-ish or so. Squeeka Mouse and I will be getting back to some 7 Days to Die on my channel at Beard of Liberty. I don't think it'll be a very long stream. We're trying to kind of prep up for our first blood moon. We've been taking it slow. Instead of 7 days to die, we've had 30 days to die because we just kind of want to have fun and not stress about. And I get in trouble when I'm not around and zombies kill her. I don't know why. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry, Joker. Let me take care of this for you. I know you're looking forward to no, wrong thing. There we go. There we go. Okay, so hopefully
I mean, I totally agree. I'm a goat. We have to think about beards.
Beard was so distracted thinking about eating those apocalyptic corn dogs or whatever.
Oh yes,
makes for him.
Oh man, those apocalyptic chili dogs, they're pretty good, man. That hobo stew that's totally not made out of human. No, after the weekend, I was supposed to be on this past Monday, but we were trying a new software that didn't let more than 2 people on during the free version because we're still trying to figure out what not StreamYard software we're going with forward. So I don't know what we're doing on Monday. Stay tuned for that. Check it out. Tuesday with Jacob. Thursday, back over here on Roman Empire's channel. I do streaming with Squeeka for the 7 Days to Die, my channel, of course. Occasionally, it's not always set in stone, and occasionally a different game. I'm just kind of playing it fast and loose over there. So I don't know.
All right, awesome.
Well, maybe not the second turn. Never mind.
All right, and then Joker Voice. What are you up to once they let you out of the asylum periodically?
Well, this weekend for me is a busy weekend. It is the second biggest event for the WWE. That is the Royal Rumble going on Saturday. So I'll be spending most of my weekend watching it as a fan and then dissecting it, watching it another 2 or 3 times, all 3.5 hours of it. And then, which will lead right into my show on Wednesday night. Wednesday night is overbooked with our good friend Left Eye Eagle, who will be here next week, and also Matt, who was just here, where we talk about the world of professional wrestling. We're getting good numbers. We're getting good retention. So we want to keep that going. So please, even if you're not a big wrestling fan, but there's something you got a little morbid curiosity, come and take a look. Ego started off as a novice fan, learning a lot and getting a lot more enjoyment of just another method of telling stories.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, for me, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask. So my goal was to hit 325 subscribers by the end of the month, and I just realized I am 1 short. So,
Oh,
and I'm a few subs short of 700. So if anyone's out there, just saying.
Let's see. Hold on. Where is the Eclectic Goat? Oh wait, you're only on X. I don't have your link. So yeah, go over to the Eclectic Goat. If you can find her on YouTube. If someone could.
Yeah, I don't think I'm wrenched, or I would.
Oh, you're not? Okay, I don't. Well.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
What were you trying to reach?
Her link for her channel, so somebody can go over there and sub.
I just.
Oh wait, there it is. It's in the chat.
But what number? Because you're at 326.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, like 30 seconds ago, I was 324.
There we go. That should have popped it up. I think. Did it do it?
You are all awesome.
All right. Well, if anybody, let's see if Boosh, I see Jacob. I know you're still here, obviously, but if somebody else that has a wrench might drop that in.
Well, I'm trying to pop.
But
it
it'll be in the description at the very
I'll hit
least
it.
at the end of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Goat.
So so please invite you to go subscribe to her and get her, and go over to Joker Voice and Beard of Liberty and Jacob Ironside.
And Squeeka Mouse, don't let me
Squeeka Mouse.
surpass her.
Yeah, exactly.
She has to always have more subscribers than me.
Let's get her to 1,000 with no content.
Wow.
I keep joking that if I hit 100, I might actually do something, but then I'm like, I don't want the mystery.
Responsibility.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you very much, sir.
There's no responsibility with me.
I like it.
And as for myself, I don't have a channel or anything. I mean, I kind of do. You can go sub to it, but there's nothing on it. Kind of like Squeeka. But again, Roman couldn't be here tonight. He had a lot of things that he had to take care of, so I was driving the ship, probably over a waterfall into a giant iceberg and capsizing it. But we're all still here.
And Goat, you just got another one. I just subscribed.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think I subscribed.
Thank you very much.
You have 327 now. 327.
Great. I have a start on next month's goal of 20. By the end of next month, I really wanted to be at 350. So
I just want to brag and say I was 325.
Also, thank you very much to the chat. Everybody that's in the chat that has input. I mean, the show isn't the show without you, and we really appreciate it. And also to the people on X that are watching, thank you. And just a reminder, you can comment from there, and we'll see it over here. And if you like what you see, please come over and subscribe
and leave a comment after.
And yes, subscribe to Rome of the Empire. And also, yes, please leave a comment, even if it's something as simple as great stream or you guys suck or whatever.
Here's your comment.
Yeah, here's
an
emoji.
Comment.
Anything. And would be greatly appreciated. Also, there's a lot of good things that we reviewed if you like this stuff way back. So just go and look at the playlist and previous videos. That really goes for everybody's channel here, except for Squeeka, because she doesn't have any content. But
shh, don't give it away.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, thank you very much for being here. And that's the show for tonight. So now let me see if I can figure out how to get out of here.
We're trapped here forever.
Good night, y'all.
And stream toodles.
You